Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dust and Shadows. I'm non-playable Aaron, and I'm going to be your DM today, your keeper for this game. For us today, we have 4 players, a couple of returning faces from last week, and a couple of brand new faces to you and me. We're going to get started with an introduction to the game. Welcome. If you've just ridden into Perdition's Crossing, this is where Whiskey's Strong at the Bitches Brew Saloon. The railroad cuts right through the heart of town, and something unnatural is always riding on the desert winds. This is going to be Monster of the Week, an actual play with real hunters from around the world brought together to face the darkness that lurks beyond the firelight by start playing games. Think Deadwood meets Twilight Zone, where the frontier's a little unforgiving and the supernatural doesn't give second chances. Our hunters are folks who have seen a little too much, and their characters are people who live in town or are passing through this crossing in the world's harshest place. Now, out here on the edge, sometimes all that stands between civilization and chaos is someone willing to load some silver bullets and ride towards the screaming. So, let's get acquainted with the people sitting at our table today. Let's get acquainted with the people that are sitting at the table today. Let's get started with Mark. Mark, give us a quick introduction.
I'm Mark. I am pronouns are he, him, and I am in north central North Dakota.
A fun fact about you, sir?
Oh, fun fact, I'm not fun. Uh, I am just now at the stage of my new tattoo between feeling like a sunburn and all the hair growing back on my chest where it was shaved off for the tattoo. So I'm pretty miserable.
Ooh, miserable indeed. Was it a big one?
Yeah, yeah. Probably about the size of Uh, about size and a half width of my hand and the length of my hand.
Yeah, that's not bad. You spent some time under the needle there. All
Five
right,
hours.
let's pass it to Qua. Qua, quick introduction.
All right. Hi, I'm Quag. Pronouns are he, him, calling in from California. Uh, Interesting fact for me, been having kind of like a hyperfixation on like tornadoes and storm systems lately because we don't
Oh,
get those in California.
sure.
So it's been cool, you know, kind of kind of freaky, but fun to learn about.
Are you learning troubling things? Is that what's freaky about it?
I think just like how nature could like create these phenomenons is so crazy and freaky, you know? Just like watching it all unfold,
Fair
essentially.
enough. Honestly, the natural world is a dangerous and invigorating place. All right, let's put our brand new face here in the middle so you don't have to do yourself and your character back to back. Grant, give us a quick introduction.
Hey there. I'm Grant. I'm he, him. I live in San Antonio. And a little fun fact about me is I am a manager at an escape room place.
Whoa, does that mean you get to put together the puzzles?
Not quite, but I get to manage them basically.
Well, an important part, I'm sure. People do crazy things in spaces like that. What's your favorite theme of an escape room you've made?
My favorite escape room that we've got is it's called Special Ops Mysterious Market, and you're CIA agents investigating a Moroccan market for threats.
Whoa, hence circumstances. All right, Pinky, give us a quick introduction.
Hello, everybody. I'm Pinky. Pronouns are they, them. I'm located in Northern California. And my fun fact is earlier this week, I had a really amazing Sichuan fish soup that I'm still thinking about. And I might
Ooh.
go back next week. It totally numbed out my mouth, but it was amazing.
It's that spicy, you say?
Yeah, the Sichuan peppercorns, they like make your whole
Just
mouth super numb.
Man, I remember the days when I liked spicy food, and then I moved to the Midwest, and I just haven't really, I haven't really adjusted the way I expected to. Well, you've got a big responsibility here, Pinky. You're going to cycle back around and introduce us to your character, to the inimitable Dr. Kelly. What do we need to know about our Hex?
So Dr. Kelly, she, her, is the Hex Playbook. She is an unconventional doctor who is notorious for being bad at the banjo, and her one-sided rivalry with the famous band, the Banjo Babes, who will not let her join, for good reason. She has run out of money and has been in Perdition's Crossing for the time being. She's a bit of a accidental public menace, but she helps people when she can, but she harms them a lot too.
She's been known to make things go more awry than they were when they arrived for your help, but only on occasion. Most of the time, and statistically speaking, Dr. Kelly's a really helpful member of town. Let's see about Grant's character. Grant, can you please introduce us to your boy Clayton, the gumshoe?
Yeah, so my name is Clayton Calloway. Just rolled in from out east, coming out west. I've struck up as a marshal. I'm a little new in town, but I'm not afraid to dispense justice where I go. My core belief is that the weak must always be protected from the strong.
Ah, a great code for gumshoe. Perfect. Now, do you work with the sheriff, Tom Bradley, or are you sort of your own man in town, a lawman who more of a vigilante type? Grant, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, say that again?
Do you work with Tom Bradley, the sheriff in town, or are you more of a vigilante, a lawman that doesn't abide by such things?
I work on occasion with him. I'm not at odds with him, but sometimes if I need to do things my own way, I'll do it.
Wonderful. All right, bringing it around to Angelo. Angelo is our crooked Qua. What do we need to know about him?
All right, Angelo is a snake's oil salesman of sorts. He's made the deal with the devil to have all this riches and the gift of the gab. Um, but you know his time is due, and he's not really willing to pay up. So he's on the run, but he's still trying to make a quick buck as he does it.
Always looking for a good opportunity to make a little money. We see, Angelo, do you still have a mobile store of sorts?
Yes, he is on his way with his wagon of goods.
Goods is what you describe them as when you're selling them. It's seldom what the customers describe them as when you're leaving a dust trail. Alvin, our last character is in your hands, Mark. What do we need to know about our spooky?
Alvin is a part-time card shark. Let's say he's been known to deal both faro and poker, and even a little bit of blackjack. But he's been moving away from them recently since he's been here in Petitions Crossing and trying to make more of a living uh, with his ability to keep accounts, keep books, write letters, do those sorts of things that business owners often don't have the time or necessarily have the skill to do for themselves. It's
Yeah.
pretty much it's old west gig economy though, so it doesn't necessarily particularly lucrative.
It's true, though. Many business folk can't even read their own books, and you are a necessary service for keeping things afloat or prospering. Unfortunately, the town of Perdition's Crossing has gone through some hard times, and Alvin, your prospects haven't been good either. Now, before we can connect our hunters together, you need to have a sense of my character, the town, and all the people in it. We see the town of Perdition's Crossing, a little outpost town, a frontier once, and now a stop along what will soon be the Transcontinental Railroad. We can see the railroad's iron trail forges through the heart of town that once was just a dirty path that that connected two places together where someone had put down some roots. But the town has grown substantially. On one side of the tracks, there is 4 main landmarks. A two-story bank building with iron bars on the windows, a sort of an eerie disposition to the place. The local bankman doesn't show himself much. Seldom can he be seen outside, and they do say that there's strange noises coming from the place at night, but passersby probably wouldn't be able to ratify that rumor. We can see the sheriff's office, a squat little building just off of the main thoroughfare, a small brig inside, the cot that sits inside of it seldom used, but the hammock that swings from bar to window almost always contains the sheriff if you think you need him. His desk is covered with wanted posters and missives and notices from abroad that he seldom touches or knows what to do with. On the other side of town, we have the saloon, and it's the real town mystery. A bunch of distilling equipment and brewery equipment that just miraculously appeared here sometime before the railroad arrived. No one really knows what pulled it in. Oxens, horses, nothing stayed at the stable, but the saloon is a staple of the town. And then lastly, of course, the general store. A place that is well protected, buttressed, built like a fortress, and contains basically anything anybody would need. Certainly the most prosperous place when logistics are as easy as they are with the railroad in place. Our hunters are citizens of the town, or are passers-by, folks that are just traveling through like tumbleweeds toss. How are we connected to each other? Flip our sheets over and look at the backside. On the back, we're going to find the history section. 2 of our hunters are connected from last week, so you can reiterate that one to get us started if you'd like, or you can connect yourself to one of the other hunters from a past experience or the one we're about to unfold. Does anyone have any ideas?
I can go
Yeah.
first.
All right, Pinky, you're up.
Dr. Kelly is very happy Angelo is coming back because she is running out of money and has been running up huge tabs around town. So he pays for her stuff.
Angelo has never had the type of problem you have with money, Dr. Kelly. He, despite not always having business town to town, does make good coin. Angelo, how do you feel? Do you know that Dr. Kelly's here? Are you headed here, or are you going to run into her serendipitously?
You know, I think he has so many reasons to come to Perdition's Crossing. For one, he's still being chased. For two, I feel like the town that he bought out is going through some straits, so he just wants to avoid that right now.
Sure.
He was going down a business deal, and in the previous mystery, I think Dr. Kelly, fixed up his leg, but
Yeah, I
without
think so.
her monitoring, his leg has been acting up on its own, and he botched the deal because he accidentally kicked the business associate in the butt.
Ooh.
And he's not too happy about that, so he's like, I need to go back to Dr. Kelly, and she needs to fix my leg. On top of that, he's getting all these collection letters for all the bills that she's running up. So he is like very just, I need to get to Perdition's Crossing right now.
Wow, I love the urgency. That's hilarious. In the West, I'm sure those collection letters are seldom followed by a man without a gun. In that case, how else is Angelo connected to the town? How are you connected to Alvin or Clayton?
I think I'll go with Alvin because, Angelo's a criminal, so there's that. But Alvin and Angelo, I think, are like old business associates. So I feel like with business involved, Angelo's going to be trying to have an opportunity to make money with Alvin,
How would Alvin be connected to Clayton? What type of opportunities might you have done? And does the change of heart that you've experienced recently affect that now?
So this is Alvin's connection to Angelo, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Alvin and Angelo knew each other in Silver Bridge. Angelo saw Alvin very purposefully, even if not seemingly physically. I seem to remember it was the mayor of Silver Bridge whose hand Alvin vindictively crushed in the midst of a very highly emotional situation involving storms. I'm not sure if Angelo's forgotten that, or if possibly Angelo might think that Alvin is a bit dangerous, as well as being potentially useful.
Ooh. What do you
I
think?
think I think Angelo definitely remembers, but you know, he has a penchant for playing with fire. Especially if it means that there's money to be made. He's just like, well, I just have to. I have to make that money.
Perfect. All right, Mark, can you connect Alvin to Clayton?
Alvin's been having to deal cards recently. Things have gotten tough. And if he deals cards, he cheats. And if he cheats in a way that the victim may not know how he was cheated, but he knows that he was cheated.
Ooh.
So I don't know if Clayton's a card player or not, but that certainly could be something that has happened.
Well, Clayton, do you play cards?
Yeah, I partake occasionally.
So, Clayton, how do you feel about getting swindled? As a gumshoe, is it something more of a curiosity? How is he doing that? You keep coming back to the table to try to figure out the trick, or is Clayton frustrated by the amount that Alvin cheats when he deals?
Well, I think it's a mix of both. I think if he was truly very pissed off about it, he wouldn't really, he wouldn't be coming back. So it is a slight morbid curiosity of how it all works, how the con works.
Sure.
So he keeps coming back for more.
Curious about the con. All right, Grant, you've got a responsibility here to close the circle. How is Clayton connected to Dr. Kelly?
Yeah, so I've got a few ideas. I think I approached them for help on a case. I think that'd probably be the best. So I was investigating some disappearances around town, and I came across some bodies, and they seemed to be kind of torn up in a way I've never seen before. So I enlisted her help to try to identify what exactly went wrong here.
That seems right up Dr. Kelly's alley. Doc, have you kept a good rapport with the gumshoes since then?
I like to think so. I think that Dr. Kelly tried to be as helpful as possible. I think that Clayton may have noticed there were additional parts missing after she left that are unaccounted for. But I think that she gave him helpful information too, though. So the trade off may be worth it.
Fair enough. All right, Hunters, we're connected full circle. Is there anything else that jumps off the page that just needs to be a story we tell? Perfect. In that case, let's get this party started. A quick change in music. Perdition's Crossing gets hot in the summer. Boy, does the sun just beat down on things. This high up, the Great Basin has always been the type of place that is just a little closer to the sun. It feels stark. It feels kind of just overbearing. Like you can't get away from it. It burns the skin so fast. and it makes its presence known in many different ways. We see a bunch of people out in the sun, a whole tent city full of rows of kind of mislaid, disheveled tents. We can see this an outhouse building a little bit more permanently placed just on the edge of this field, and a small wooden shack at most. Basically a foreman's office at this time, but it's a small, pitiful thing, and you know it cooks like an oven. There's currently nobody in it, as standing outside of the mine, where the entrance yawns open, wooden barriers across, and a small, creaky sign that says Pemberton Silver Mines, we can see Mr. Pemberton himself. Augustus Pemberton is a big man, probably 280, 6'2", 6'3", if he's not wearing his pump shoes, and you know he is. And the man swaggers around the site as he directs and gives orders. We can see another man there. Small glasses, suitcase full of things that just look a little out of place. Vials and crystals and powders and goops. He's assembling a couple of things, and we see as he exits into the mine with something in his hand. He's holding it very carefully. And the scene kind of plays out. The sun moves and the shadows shift, and he returns. When he's out, Pemberton looks at him and says, "Well, is it ready?" And the man nods solemnly, and then he starts an incantation. A spell, an arcanic rune forms in the sky in front of his hands as he weaves. His words begin to whip wind around all the people, and the miners, always superstitious, scale back as they sort of skitter in fear, step to step, elbow to gut. However, as he's winding his spell, big thunder clouds booming, we see him as he clasps his last words together, and nothing happens. He flips a couple pages in his book, and he does it again, and he kind of finishes another incantation, and nothing. A third try, and by this time, Pemberton's looking so angry. He's furious. Sweat is dripping down his face. He's red from tip to toe, and he walks over and shakes the man by his lapel. "What the hell's the meaning of this, Overton?" And the man sort of shrugs and drops a bunch of things, and then the miners get so furious that they start to form up a mob. He's driven from town. We see as he's now standing on the edge of Perdition's Crossing, two buildings framing the scene as he's driven out, his horse riding off into the desert. He looks back, a curse on his lips, unheard in the desert winds, as he curls his fingers and points back at the town. Our story starts a few weeks later. Now, we've all seen the wanted posters for the man. They're all over town. He's definitely been made enemy number one. Philip Overton is Augustus Pemberton wants this man brought back to be tarred and feathered. He wants him taken care of in a gruesome manner, and his men have been all over town looking for him. So our hunters, in the midst of this, are living their daily life, seeing this wanted poster out and about a couple of weeks after the spell at the mine failed. We see someone at the bank. Who is at the bank in sort of an early morn, dropping something off or picking something up? Angelo, you certainly have the most coin, but it doesn't have to be you here. Somebody else could be coming for a writ of favor or some debt. Alvin, you've made a bit of coin, but maybe we're looking at empty coffers. Anyone's go.
Don't think Angelo would be in the bank, but I feel like he's finally rolling into town, you know?
On the outskirts, we see the cart. Can you please describe your character, your cart, and what you do when you first come into town?
You see Angelo pan into town. he's a very well-dressed man. He has, you know, a very well uh, creased button up, a tan suit, a hat, and a bolo tie, a very like ornate emerald bolo tie.
Ooh.
And you would think that he would have these horses driving his wagon, but through some unfortunate events in the past, they're donkeys right now. So he has donkeys pulling his cart in, and it's a pretty nice double-decker wagon. You know, he can go in and out through all of his supplies, and it's surprisingly not very dusty. You know, um,
We see basically a good spot off the beaten path. I assume a mule pulling, is that right?
mm-hmm, yes.
We see as you start to get out, and a couple of sort of curious walkers by approach. A young boy, kind of clad in like what looks like potato sackcloth, made into a shirt, and he comes up, and he's pulling his mother's hand. She looks like she doesn't have much in the way of coin, but a keen eye over the lot of them shows that you have something they might be able to buy in the back. What does Angelo pull from the cart?
He pulls this vial, and he looks to the young boy, and he smiles, and well, how are you doing now, young fella? You look very parched. We have a mighty fine hot day today, huh?
Well, mighty fine indeed. I am quite thirsty, sir. Is there any way I could, I don't know, have a fresh ice water?
He passes him this bottle, and he calls it Angelade. Well, I think this would do the trick.
What the
would do
plants
the trick.
crave, huh?
Yeah. I think you would find this to be a very rejuvenating tonic. Yeah, have this one on me. And he winks at the mother.
She just smiles and nods, and the boy drinks this Angelade, and we can see as he just like skips off, just jubilant, just like, this is delicious, Mom. And she's like, well, let me have a try. And the two of them skitter off, and we see a couple of curious peoples like leaning in rocking chairs, spitting into spittoons, think about coming to get a drink. But you have some time now, Angelo. What do you do first?
He pulls out his binoculars. I feel like he's trying to pinpoint where Dr. Kelly's new office is.
We see you immediately spot, I think, a temporary office of sorts. Dr. Kelly, will you please describe what you've managed to put up in town with your limited funds?
Yeah, last mystery, Dr. Kelly's office got destroyed again. So she has, made a big sign for like Dr. Kelly's new office. And it is, from her old office, like pointing an arrow to where the new office is. And I think it's just like a tent. She doesn't have solid walls yet. So she is there. I think somebody maybe just came outside. They're holding their elbow, and it is wrapped in a huge bandage. And their elbow looks bigger than the other one was on the other arm.
The size of it is it grotesque? Does it look unnatural?
I think it looks a little unnatural, yeah. But she waves him off, being like, "Well, if it's still hurting in a week, just come back and we'll try something else. The saw's a little out of commission, but we'll whip it up soon."
Thanks, Doc. I hope it stops hurting soon, he says as he waves. And Angela, you spot her with your binoculars. You making your way there right away?
Yeah, you see Angelo slowly put down the binoculars, and his eyes are squinting. You could tell that he's slowly getting a little irritated. He puts his binoculars away, straightens up his suit, and he doesn't quite beeline it to the new office. He goes to the bank because he's about to settle up the debt before he goes to Dr. Kelly, you know?
We see you. Set your path towards the front doors of the bank, eyeing Dr. Kelly along the way, never quite letting her out of sight. But you disappear into the doors, and we'll turn back to you in a moment. Dr. Kelly, you could have sworn you just saw Angelo across the way, but you don't see his cart. Must be parked somewhere else, and you can't really be sure unless you check it out. Is there anything else going on that you have to attend to before you go and see if your friend has arrived?
I think she sneezes for a second, and it's like, strange. Maybe somebody might be thinking about me. And she's gonna wander off to find like a cool beverage, I think.
A cool beverage indeed. As you go to try to find your way into the saloon, the only other place with real beverages, crisp and cool, will figure out who's in there when you arrive. Another hunter is sitting in the saloon this day, a swelterer for sure. The tables are mostly empty. The space in here, the slatted windows are open to let a little cross breeze through, but it's an oven inside. And whoever's here is probably suffering a little bit. Alvin, Clayton, which one of the two of you is sitting in the saloon this time?
I think Clayton would probably be in the saloon. He likes to keep his finger on the pulse. He's having a drink, but he's also kind of eavesdropping on the conversations nearby, trying to figure out what's going on in town exactly.
Wonderful. There's not many, so it's easy to catch sight, but let's go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery here, Grant. That's going to be plus sharp, and our first roll of the game. For anyone who's new to Monster of the Week that's joining us, he's going to roll 2d6 and add one of his 5 skill stats. What's your sharp, Grant?
So my sharp is +2.
Ooh, and what did your bones say?
I rolled a 3. 3 + 2, 5.
Oh, a first roll is a failure. Now, another rule we should get out of the way here is luck. In one-shots like this, we have 1 point of luck that we can use at any time to turn any roll to a 12, or to avoid taking harm from a dangerous blow. You only get 1, so it's good to save it if you have a high-stakes situation or something at that ilk, but definitely try to use it in the session. Would you like to use yours here, Clayton?
I think I'm good. I think I'll let this lie.
In that case, as you are kind of keeping an ear out, most of the talk in the saloon is just regular stuff. You actually hear a couple of guys like, "Yep, I went to the doctor about my crab situation, and, they're serving them at the restaurant now. I'm not sure what's the matter with that Dr. Kelly." And the other man says, "My hand has never been the same." And he holds up like a bear claw sized paw, little tufts of fur coming out of his knuckles. And the man says, like, "Everybody loves your paw, Greg." And we hear nothing of value. My hard move is that your eavesdropping gives you nothing of value. However, you do hear when the door opens and Dr. Kelly walks in as the two folk go silent. Clayton, what are you doing? Can you describe your character and what Dr. Kelly sees when she enters?
Yeah, so Clayton's not too flashy. He just he likes to kind of lie a little low. So he's just wearing quite normal clothes, maybe a duster and a little bandana to keep the dust from getting in his lungs there. But he's mostly hunched over the bar, trying not to draw too much attention. Just kind of hunched over, eavesdropping, not doing too much. Has a beer in hand.
Dropping them eaves, trying to look inconspicuous. In that case, when you glance towards the door, Pinky, will you please describe your character? How do you enter the saloon?
I think Dr. Kelly just sort of bursts through the doors and, is just like, "I need a cold beer. Just throw it on my tab. Don't worry, it's all gonna get paid soon." And she is wearing her classic hat. There's a little bit of blood stain on it. She's got a sleeveless leather top, so you could see it's unbearably hot, but she has a one of her arms is a wooden, like, prosthetic arm that moves better than other prosthetic arms that you've seen around town. And she just sort of throws herself on the bar. Can't wait to get this cool drink.
Beverages served, and as you look around, you can definitely see some familiar characters, and one kind of almost like deliberately shaded figure sitting in one corner, and it's like in a town like this, you feel pretty confident you know who it might be. There's only so many people that'll sit like so inconspicuous that aren't passersby. Is there anything that you want to do to approach Clayton, or are you going to let him drink in peace?
I think she'll sit near him and then maybe see some of the guys behind and be like, "Oh, hey, Vernon, like, how's your foot doing? Is it getting better? You can stop by the tent later if you need to."
Yeah, it's still on backwards, but I'm learning to walk good.
I swear you'll be a better dancer in the end.
You know, I've been told I've got better rhythm. They were telling me at the square dance just last Wednesday.
You'll be a top dancer in no time, and then I'll switch it back, and then we'll flip your other one so your other foot can get good too.
Yeah, I want to be very talented. The only way is through adversity.
And he puts up a fist. There'll be no action in this scene just yet until we get all of our hunters shown. So we see the two of you sort of nurse your beverages and enjoy the local scenery for just a moment. Alvin, where do we find our spooky?
I would say that our spooky has just exited the bank, probably as Angelo is approaching, and is exiting in something that is clearly a huff,
Ooh.
which is punctuated at the end by 3 very rapid and loud sneezes.
You look up and you see a familiar face. Man, it's been a long time since you spotted Angelo, and it's been even longer since he spotted you. What does Angelo see as you're walking from the bank?
Angelo would probably recognize a few things about Alvin right away. One, he's still dressed quite neatly, although his clothes are maybe a little bit more threadbare than when Angelo saw him in the past. Dark duster, white shirt, still very carefully laundered to maintain the white, and probably a collar that has still well attached but seen better days. Dark hat. He's a little bit less shapen than he was, so he's got maybe a couple of weeks growth of beard. Very dark handlebar mustache, dark eyes. Still, their pale skin is showing that he keeps out of the sun. But he looks up and smiles broadly after that second where he's recognizing Angelo, but then it's followed immediately by a sneeze. Angelo.
Well, bless you, Mr. Broadsmith. How are you? It's been quite some time.
Oh, it has been. Oh, it's just this creosote. Oh, they smell like rain, but it sure hasn't rained around here. What are you doing? Why are you in town?
Well, here's the thing. Our good old friend, the good doctor, Dr. Kelly, well, she's been running up this tab that I need to settle. You wouldn't happen to know where she might be, would you?
Running up
Running up my tab.
She's.
And he shows these plethora of collection letters.
Oh, I'm. Let's say as I'm surprised. See the tent? That's her last office. Kind of burned down, blew up. I think you get an idea of how these things go.
Angelo is just like wincing uncontrollably and he's
Barbara
snack.
Barbara means well. There's no
Well,
question about that.
good intentions don't always settle up the bills.
True enough.
You're saying that, and it's as somebody walks out of the bank, and we see Augustus Pemberton, the mine owner, turn towards you. He says, "Truer words have seldom been spoken, young man. Good intentions seldom pay the bills. I'm Augustus Pemberton. What's the make of your nature?"
Ah, yes. Belmonte, Angelo Belmonte. It's a pleasure.
A pleasure indeed. Hello, Mr. Brodsman. We haven't seen you
Mr.
at the local
Pemberton?
poker games in some time, Mr. Brodsman. Your skill at dealing is missed. The boy who's done it got his left hand exchanged at Dr. Kelly's practice, and he's not been the same since.
I am not dealing as much. I am still, however, doing books for pay.
I'm afraid, Mr. Brodsman, my books are cooked. I don't have much coming in out of the mines since the failed incident a few weeks back. I've only got one team of miners working. The rest are laid off this week.
Well,
I know. Grave times indeed.
yes, they certainly seem to be.
Mr. Belmonte,
Maybe I'll show up at that.
Are you a purveyor of goods that might be of service to us? I'm in the look for something to solve a little problem. Have you any dowsing rods?
Oh, dowsing rods? Well, certainly. I have plenty of those. If you'd like to make a little purchase.
Mr. Brodsman, is this man of reputable character?
I would say that you would find him to be a businessman of your own heart, Mr. Pemberton.
Cleverly placed deflection. Pemberton nods, and he sort of puts a hand on Angelo's shoulder, and he says, "Well, I'll send some people to gather you. Are you staying in town tonight?"
Well, I think I just might.
Well,
I'll
then
be at your finest establishment tonight. So he kind of looks around.
The saloon is our only establishment. If you want some better whiskey, my office is open until 6. And he walks away checking a pocket watch, and then he turns back to Alvin and he says, "Mr. Brodsman, have you given thought to the wanted posters for Philip Overton? I would like a man of your skills on the case. I heard rumor he's just a town over."
I had not given any thought to it, Mr. Pemberton, but I shall.
The money is good. It could be worth your time. And he pockets his watch and walks off. Last moments between the two of you before we turn back to the tavern.
If his money was so good, then why didn't he pay me for my last work for him? Angelo, I'll warn you. Get your pay in advance if you deal with that man.
Well noted. Well, there's some other opportunities I'm sure that can be had with making money. So you're not dealing anymore, have you?
I've turned over a new leaf.
Well, that's a shame, but I think we should keep in touch, and I'm sure something will come down the road.
We can hope.
Tips
The
his
two
cap.
of you split. I assume, Angelo, you're headed into the bank for now, and we see you doing something in there, and then we see Alvin headed where before we turn back to the tavern?
Alvin just stands there for a moment. He's with the air of a man who does not have anywhere in particular to go and is not happy about that. But after a moment, he walks on down the boardwalk there, and he passes by one of the wanted posters, stops, and looks at it, reading it closely.
We can see, as you do so, the face of Philip Overton. He's wanted for breach of contract. $200, dead or alive. And we can see that he looks like a scholarly man. He looks like a nerd. He's the Wild West equivalent of an old nerd. But he's you know him. He's a dangerous man. They hired him because he has some powers in the arcane. Alvin, as you are looking at this sign, however, the ground begins to shake beneath your feet. A rumble fills the land. We feel this earthquake shudder and shake, and like a little tiny undulation, the main road wiggles like somebody is whipping a sheet. We see as it sort of just like rattles the boards for just a moment, and you feel this earthquake settle down. Broadsman, where do you head first?
And for a moment in which he gets his bearings back and his balance back, he looks around. He looks over to the tent and heads that direction. He's going right for the doctor.
We turn back to the tavern where this earthquake feels incredibly strange. The two of you that are in here watch as the bar almost separates, bits of it moving up and down as the earth moves underneath it. You can feel as bottles shake on the walls, the clinking of glass, the rattle of lids, and we see as a glass shatters on the wooden floor, scattering little pieces of crystalline sharp shard everywhere across the floor of the tavern, of the saloon. Dr. Kelly, Clayton, what are the two of you doing when this earthquake strikes?
Dr. Kelly jumps in the bar and yells, "The sky is falling! Today is the day!" She grabs 2 bottles and runs out the door.
I think as the bartender sees you go to try to do that, I would like an act under pressure here from Dr. Kelly. Your first roll is going to be plus cool.
All right, we've got a 9.
A 9 is a mixed success. So, on an act under pressure, a mixed success is a worse outcome, a hard choice, or a price to pay. You can take those 2 bottles, but you'll drop something from your kit in the saloon, and you'll have to go back to get it later. Or you can take those 2 bottles, but you're going to cover yourself in alcohol, and you won't be able to sneak or do anything sneaky for a while until you get all that smell off of you.
I think she will end up covered in alcohol. There's probably another bottle that explodes nearby.
Yeah. A couple of shards of glass hit you, but none of them cut, so you won't take any harm, but you will take a -1 if you try to do anything that involves charisma. So charm rolls are -1 from here until you get cleaned up. Dr. Kelly, you're out of there. We see you skip table, floor, doors, boom, out and into the open you go. The ground's still shaking just a little bit, but you look up, and the sky is exactly where it was when you walked in the building. What do you do next?
I do think that as she was running out of the bar, she shouts to everyone, "Save yourselves! No discounts for natural disasters! See me at the tent if you need help!" And she is going to try to go find her tent and see if anything else fell over.
Perfect. Jogging across the street with a smile, knowing that there may be some business soon, you head back to your practice. We turn back to the tavern. Clayton, inside, you can see the bartender scrambling. The couple of people that were in here in this midday heat, also sort of ducking under tables and standing in door frames. What does our gumshoe do?
So has the earthquake like subsided, or is it still like actively going on?
It was a short 10 to 12 second burst, and for now, you've got your legs back under you.
All right, so I'm gonna check on the other people, make sure that they're all okay. I'm gonna help people to their feet, kind of dust them off.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yes. Oh.
And then I think I'm gonna
What was that?
head outside just to kind of gauge what just happened.
outside, you step to the sunlight. The dust has now risen off of the road, and almost like a fog, it cloaks the streets with this thick, acrid smell of desert. And as you step out, you kind of like, hold your hand over your eyes to look through, and you can see that there are people milling about in the streets. But for the most part, people are kind of just like dusting themselves out. There seems to be nobody majorly injured. The buildings have settled a bit, though. And whatever that was, you've been in an earthquake before, Clayton. It's almost certain to have some aftershocks or some other consequences, things that have fallen but haven't quite tumbled down fully yet. Well, let's go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery here, Clayton.
For sure.
That's going to be plus sharp. So, as we said earlier, you're 2 to the gumshoes sharp.
All right, that's going to be a 9.
9 is a mixed success. On an investigate a mystery, that gives you 1 question. For the first time in the mystery, we'll read them out. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do or what can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here?
I think probably what just happened is probably the most applicable here.
You can see that through the center of town and kind of winding from one space to another seems to be almost a bit of raised dirt. It doesn't look too out of place as things settle, except to your keen eye. It looks like something was tunneling. There is the distinctive trail of pushed, mounded earth heading from outside of town or behind one of the other buildings and towards the general store. It's unclear what it was, but you know that something was traveling just below the surface of the soil, and that it may very well have caused that quake.
I think probably, you said it leads to the general store?
It seems to be headed there. If at least one of the directions goes there, whether it's the beginning or the end is hard to say from where you stand.
I think I might go take a look at the general store then.
We see you cross the street to go. The sort of buttressed tops, the kind of well-protected, almost castle-in structure of it. It seems to be really sturdy. It handled the earthquake well, but you can see Ethel out front, gray hair, down in a braid. She's doing a couple of things out front of the building, taking care of somebody who's stumbled. And as you head up, she seems like she's got everything down, at least on the front side of things. What do you want to say? What do you want to do?
Morning, ma'am. Everything seem all right here?
Well, yeah, I mean, not often the earth shakes beneath our feet, am I right? But, well, I had a couple things fall over in the store. It's covered in flour in there. But, no, I think we're all right, Clayton, thank you. And as she says that, you hear the crash of glass. You don't feel any tremors, and you're not sure anything should be moving back there, but something in the back of the general store just broke. She looks up in shock. What the? What do you want to do, Clayton? She doesn't seem to recognize who's back there, and she's going to head there herself, alone. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna follow her in there. Kind of hand, not drawn, but on my revolver.
We see as you step in with your hand on your belt, ready to draw at any moment, just behind her. She steps up and looks in, and we can see something shifting in the back of her shop. A crate is moving. It shifts, and then you watch as it just sort of like breaks. The wooden boards that hold it together splinter and crack. You hear this enormous sound as the whole thing just implodes. And then you see as basically grain and other foodstuffs spray in a huge cloud. And then you hear something beginning to drag that crate again now that it's broken. Clayton, what do you want to do here?
You got any pest problems here, ma'am?
Well, I haven't before. And she pulls a big bat out from behind the counter. That isn't going to be enough, Clayton. Is it time to pull your weapon?
I think I'm gonna draw my weapon.
Gun out.
But see if I can kind of
What kind of gun do you have?
So it says on my sheet that I've got a 38 revolver. I think that just about fits. It's a little bit of a longish barrel, but not too absurdly long. And it's got some subtle engravings here and there.
You pull your firearm from your belt. You ready the shot. You step forward in, your gun pointed, your trigger disciplined, and we see as Ethel puts a hand up. She says, "Wait a second. What's that smell? Do you smell that?" Go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery here as well. And then let's take a look on your sheet here. You've picked Postman Rings twice, and you have your classic gumshoe moves. Is that correct?
Yes.
Cool. So at any point during the session, you can re-roll one of your dice as long as you're protecting the weak from the powerful. Keep that in mind. For now, plus sharp.
That is an 11.
11. 2. Oh, actually, I'm going to give you a read-a-bad situation here. So 3 questions. Your questions are, best way in or out, dangers we haven't noticed, biggest threat, most vulnerable to me, or the best way to protect the victims.
You said 3 of those questions?
3 of those questions. The reference sheets are there, and they're also in the chat if you need them, I believe. I'll double-check that that's correct. If not, throw them in. Good. You have 3 questions, and what I'll say is, as you step forward, what you smell is gunpowder. The room seems to be almost full of the smell of the different parts of it, the saltpeter, the kind of acrid tone of it that fills the air. You may not want to fire your firearm in this space if there's exposed gunpowder somewhere to be found. You have 3 questions.
Yes.
What would you like to know?
I think one of them was any unknown danger.
This smell is probably the biggest one, almost like a gas leak in an apartment. You don't walk in and light a lighter up and not expect it to catch, right? You feel like you are now, your weapon has been taken out of your tool belt here to use, and you're certainly in danger. But as you step, you hear the sounds of something else, and you realize that they've broken through the floorboards. Whatever is on the other side of her shelves back there burrowed its way up and into the store. So there's probably more than one, and the tunnel that leads out is probably the one you followed to get here. You have 2 questions.
I'm gonna say best way to protect the victims. I wanna keep the shopkeep safe.
Ethel is stepping forward to deal with whatever's in her shop. You're gonna have to try to charm or manipulate her to get her to not step right into the danger zone here. She's certainly going to try to deal with whatever's there herself, first and foremost. So it'll be a charm roll if you'd like to keep her safe. You have 1 more question.
Could I go through the list of questions again?
The ones you haven't asked yet are best way in or best way out, biggest threat, and most vulnerable to me.
I'm gonna say most vulnerable to me.
Clayton, you get the sense that what's most vulnerable to you in this space, specifically with the tools you have and the skills you're good at, is the mystery. You can learn more about this, but doing so will put you in danger, and you may not be able to stop those creatures or whatever it is back there on your own. But you can learn more and bring that information elsewhere to have done with it what will. What's vulnerable to you here is the mystery itself. You want to step forward and take a glance?
Yeah, I'm gonna say to Ethel, please stand behind me. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. And I step forward to take a look.
All right, go ahead and roll to manipulate someone. Our last roll before we'll turn the scene here. That's going to be plus charm. Your charm is 1 for the gumshoe, so it's one of your stronger stats.
I got a 7 plus 1, an 8.
An 8 is a mixed success. How do you convince her? She'll do what you asked, but only if you convince her you mean it. As she steps forward, she's like, hell no, I'm gonna handle this, whatever it is back there. If you're coming with me, you better tag along quick. How do you convince her that you're tougher than she is, Clayton?
Ma'am, I came here from out east in Georgia. I came across all sorts of troubles on the way. I believe I'm best equipped to handle this. Not that you are equipped yourself. I just want to make sure that we put our best foot forward here.
Convinced, she takes a step behind you and lets you lead the way. And as you turn around the corner, we're going to pan away from the back of the general store. We see across the way as Alvin and as Dr. Kelly make their way towards Dr. Kelly's tent. There's already a few people getting queued up outside with minor injuries from the quake, but Dr. Kelly, as you make your way over with a couple of fresh bottles of alcohol, you see Mr. Broad's, our Spooky, approaching. What do the two of you do or say as you come together?
Say that as Alvin comes up, he nearly trips over the mound of earth that is in the. In fact, I'd say he actually does trip and recover himself as he steps over this tunnel of earth headed towards the general store, and he'll say, choke back a sneeze and say, "Yeah, are you all right? Did you see what you? Where were you when the quake hit?"
Dr. Kelly is holding 2 bottles of alcohol in her hand, and she smells like alcohol. You can see some like little glass pieces on her clothes. She's like, I thought the sky was falling and that we were all gonna run out of the building, but a bunch of people stayed. Woo, careful now, don't wanna break your nose. You've got a large one and that'll be hard to reconstruct.
He looks at her, this, like, yes, I know where you were, but Angelo's back in town. By the way, he's looking for you.
Oh, this is perfect timing. I've got huge tabs from the insurance, from the rent, from the... I just bought this top the other day. It's a terrible idea for this weather,
He
but...
wasn't kidding, was he? Oh, but... And now there was someone in front of the general store, wasn't there? Along with Ethel?
Certainly, yeah. She was helping up a couple of people who'd stumbled in the road.
Have any of them made their way down to Dr. Kelly's?
Yeah, one of them steps up. She's got a twisted ankle. You can see she starts gossiping with the other folk there, and you can tell that's where she's come from. She said, "Oh, there was some sort of strange thing in the general store, but I think Ethel and Clayton have it handled." And the other lady looks over like, "What do you mean by strange thing? Did something fall over in the earthquake?" And the two of them start talking about it. You get a sense there's something happening over there as well, Alvin.
I think that hearing this, Alvin is going to kind of expand his awareness out a little bit and try to read a bad situation using telepathy.
Great choice. Read a bad situation. You can also use telepathy to read into their minds if you'd like, Mark. Is that something you're trying to do here?
I think that probably, I think that's probably going to be the route that he's going to take with this. So let me go ahead and, that is that's 13.
13. 13 gets you 3 questions, and one of them can be any question you'd like, not just the listed ones. What does our spooky want to know, Mark?
I got kind of lost. So we're investigating mystery is what we are here.
I see. In that case, 2 questions. One of them can be any question you'd like.
Okay. I just wasn't sure which one we were doing. Okay. Let's see. What is being concealed here?
As you widen your awareness, you realize that thing that you tripped over, there's a couple around town. And there's a couple of places that they've been, you've seen them around like some of the last few weeks, but you've never seen one quite that large. The one you tripped over is pretty dang big, and you get a sense that it did at least contribute to the rumbling into the ground. Something was moving along below your feet, and that's what made it feel like the earth was shaking. Something big.
Okay, so he walks over to that trail, that mound of earth that's running up the main street, and looks at it, and he looks up, and what he is wants to know is where did it go?
You can see that the tunnel seems to lead from one of the back of the buildings over on the way and out of town. You follow it for a moment, and then you see where it disappears heading west. You can also see that the other end of it seems to end straight in the general store. And we assume, I'm going to assume, Clayton, as you come around the corner, when you see what you see there, I want to know if you fire your gun right away or not. Clayton, our gumshoe puts his hand out and steps around the corner, quiet and slow, and standing in front of the hole that they've torn in the floor, a crate of wooden crate crushed by a giant pair of mandibles is an enormous giant ant. It's the size of a medium dog. It clacks its mandibles together at you as you turn around the corner. Clayton, does Alvin hear gunshots at this point as he's investigating the outside of that building?
I think after smelling the gunpowder, he's gonna holster his revolver and kind of just go with fists.
So we don't. We hear some thumps and screams, groans, and questions. What does he hear as he's standing on the outside? What are you going to try to do first?
So Thumps screams. Alan is going to look back. Does he see Dr. Kelly?
Yeah, Dr. Kelly, I assume, Pinky, correct me if I'm wrong, has started to administer to the flock a little. Is there any particular thing we see when Alvin looks back for you?
Yeah, Dr. Kelly is talking with the lady with the twisted ankle, like, you twisted your ankle because you've got too much ankle, and we could just change it up real quick. So she's just like yammering on.
Alvin will yell, Dr. Kelly, come on.
Well, I'll
You'll
fix
want
you
to
up
see.
in a second. And she's just gonna turn.
Urgent
Come on.
gesture, Alvin. Please give me manipulate someone here to see if you can get
Okay.
Dr. Kelly a little bit of experience, or perhaps yourself some experience. That'll be plus charm.
Ooh, that's a 6.
A 6
That
will
is
get
some
you
experience.
a point of experience. As you go to shout, Dr. Kelly, on a 6, you'll get a point of experience if you decide not to come help Alvin, and you get to decide how badly you've Alvin offended or annoyed you.
I think that she'll pause and be like, "What? It'll be real quick. It'll be real quick, Alvin. We just got to make her ankle less ankle and more untwistable, and I'll be right there."
Woman is crazy. Uh, and he'll uh, and he'll head into the general store. Yeah.
Perfect. Let's turn back for just a moment to our crooked. You've headed to the bank, and inside you can see a couple of people talking. You see a woman sort of depositing some coin. She's got like a long lace collar on a long blue dress. She's got black hair, sort of coiffed in bangs around her head, and then a long braid that goes down. Her attire is very fancy for the place, and you probably haven't seen somebody like this since the last time you were in a city. As you enter, she's the only other customer in the bank, but you can see behind the bank the shadowy figure of the banker. We never see him in full profile, just an eye through the window for a second, and then he comes back with things to exchange. Angelo, what do we see from our crooked as you enter the bank?
I mean, it's a pretty ordinary sight, you know. He's just asking him, right? But I think he's a little bit perturbed by the earthquake. You know, like
We're happening it we're happening it right now. It's going to happen in just a second.
I
So as
see.
you stepped into the bank, what did we see you do first?
I think he's just surveying the area, really. Like it's very dim in there, right?
Definitely. All the windows are boarded and iron bars on the locks.
well, this isn't a real friendly bank out. I reckon. I think he's going to do probably a little bit of investigating.
We'll say that as you start to look around and figure out what's going on here, kind of thinking like, what's up with this banker, right? The floor starts to shake. And as it does, you look around and realize that there's something moving and it moves through and under you as it goes by. We see you ride it like a little wave as you look around. Go ahead and roll that investigative mystery and let's see what you can learn about this.
That is a 9.
A 9 is one question. What would you like to know?
Um, yeah, what's being concealed here?
First and foremost, the whatever that was that just went by felt like an earthquake, and all over town they're going to be thinking that it was, but that was a creature, and you saw it move the boards with the earth that it pushed. You're certain that you brought this to town without any doubts in your mind. How could this happen to me again? It starts to cross your table here, and then we see Angelo look up and realize that the woman, as she's smelling about, she goes, well, that's strange. Pheromones. And as she sort of like looks back, she, thank you, and she starts to walk out the door. She looks at the thing on the at the mound on the road, and she's or on the floor, and she says, God, that was a terrible earthquake. But do you smell that?
I think as the creature is moving under Angelo, he fell very ungraciously, gracefully, and he's trying to get up with his cane, and he's just like, he's broken into a full sweat. He's thinking that, the devil's coming for him, that all these weird things are happening, right? And he's like, the pheromones, he's just freaking out,
Yeah. She calms you. She puts a hand out to calm you, and she says, oh, sir, please, please. It's an earthquake. They're a natural occurrence. They happen to the best of us. Be calm. Be calm. And then she says, and also, whatever's in the air smells an awful lot like some sort of chemical. It's certainly making me feel a little itchy too, like aggressive, angry. You feel that, right? And as she says it, you get the sense that that's exactly what you're feeling. That jittery, anxious energy maybe coming from without you. It may not be just you happening. As you go, the banker says, we're closed! Get out! That earthquake's shaking my vault loose! And the two of you exit out into the street to see that panic in the dust. She looks at you and says, are you going to be all right, sir?
He's trying to calm himself down. I think I'll be all right, but you said pheromones. What? I'm not. Although I could smell something, that's not the first thing that comes to mind. What? Do you have a special talent, young lady?
No, I spent a lot of time back east studying this exact phenomenon. Part of our studies was to raise insects that spoke in different forms of communication. We spent a lot of time in closed rooms with stinky bugs. Long story short, you understand why I've come west seeking better opportunities.
I see. Bugs. You're a bug lady, huh?
Oh,
You reckon
well,
that there's an infestation problem here at Perdition's Crossing?
I haven't seen much in the way, but I do remember there was a miner just a couple of days back, one of the last few that's working, who came back with some pretty serious bites. They haven't had much problem with ants before this. But there's a hill that's open and deep, deep in the mines. The last party came to the doctor with some issues. I don't know if that's what this is. This is a potent smell, and as she says it, we hear screams. Angelo, you're in the street, so you're the closest to this, but Dr. Kelly's not far past, and both of you look up as a bunch of people start to spill from the saloon. The saloon's the big man behind the bar vaults over the bar. We hear him shout, "What the hell!" And everybody exits as they spill out in a wave. Angelo, that's trouble. Whatever it was, you see as people begin to spill out, and 3 people pull guns and fire back into the saloon. What does our crooked do?
I feel like he's the kind of guy to hightail it out of there, Um, well, that looks like an awfully big commotion. I reckon we ought to leave right now. And as he's about to turn tail,
Leave?
his leg. That's right. This doesn't look very safe, does it now, young lady? As he turns tail, his leg gets out of control and kicks her. And
Gives
he's
her a
like,
big boot.
"Oh, I'm so sorry, but I think that's a sign that you best leave." And he makes his way towards the tent.
In that case, we see as you head your way there, Alvin comes around the corner to the sound of screams and gunshots, and all three of you are watching when something else happens. But let's see where Clayton is as it goes. Clayton, you're bringing your fists to bear against an enormous exoskeletal creature. I'm going to need to kick some ass for this one, Grant.
All right, that is plus tough. Let me roll that real quick.
Plus tough indeed. Our tough is not your worst stat here. We don't roll much weird for Clayton.
Yeah, I've got a 6 plus 1, a 7.
A 7 is a mixed success. You and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. Clayton, your fists do 1 before armor. Do you have anything that modifies that in any way? I don't think you have you don't have a knife or anything hand in hand.
Yeah, I don't believe I have anything like that.
In that case, as you go to do some punching damage against this thing, we see as you go to try to hit it, and it doesn't hurt. So you have to hurt it in another way. Grapple, pull, bend, break. What do you do instead? As your first blows go against this thing, you just sort of hold up throbbing, swollen fists that hurt.
I think I'm gonna try to attack the joints like on its legs or on its mandibles or something. I'm gonna try to kind of break them off.
Ooh, nice. We see as you go for the joint, you do manage to get one whole leg off, so you'll do your 1 harm. However, as the mandibles come down onto your arm, there's a chance you're going to get it cut off. As you pull your hand back, it swipes all the way down your skin. You take 2 harm from this giant ant as it takes flesh from your upper arm and elbow. You manage to get it out of the way, but you do know it could have cut your limb off wholesale. You need to be careful in here. And as you start to get back, we watch as Ethel comes up and boom, boom, bat to the top of the head. This thing crumples. It starts to leak, and then you hear scuttling as another one emerges from the hole. You can hear more past that. You guys are not safe in this room anymore, Clayton. How do you want to get out of this situation?
I'm gonna say we got to get out of here, and I'm gonna break one of the windows and jump out.
Oh, nice. Headed for the window, we see you start to leap that way. Go ahead and roll to act under pressure for me, Clayton. That's going to be plus
So that is
So our gumshoe has a 0. What did your bones say?
That'll be an experience, a 4.
A 4 is indeed an experience point. As you go to try to smash the window back here, you realize that it is as fortified as the rest of the general store is. And she says, "Oh, that ain't gonna break. We better get out of here." And she scrambles back for the door. As she does, one of the ants kind of skitters out of the hole towards her, and we hear a shriek. She lifts up a stump as her hand has been taken off as she reached for the knob. She slams the door against the ant, and then she runs out, screaming bloody murder as she goes, and we see you on her tail, Clayton. However, the ant lunges and smashes into you. You take 1 more harm as the door hits you on your way out. The 2 of you scramble from the general store out and towards the front door when you feel an enormous wave of force. The men shooting at the ants in the saloon hit one, and as they shot it, it explodes. The whole saloon goes up. The wood flies out of the air. An enormous mushroom cloud plume of smoke. Everybody that is in vision sight gets blown backwards and thrown to the ground. No harm, but a certain concussion. A big bit of air pushes you back, blowing your eardrums for just a moment. As you all pick yourselves up, ears ringing, what do we see our hunters do?
All right. The saloon is just blown up. Alvin looks back
has just blown
and
up
just
sky high.
yeah. Alvin looks back, and first of all, he looks. I don't know why he would look for Dr. Kelly. I have no imagine why he would associate Dr. Kelly with things blowing up, but he does. He spots Dr. Kelly, and just as he's like turning in the middle of the main street there, the next thing that he likely would see would be Clayton and Ethel exiting, scrambling backwards out of the general store. Both of them bleeding. Her bleeding probably quite profusely.
Yeah.
And he's going to run that direction towards them.
Sounds ringing around you. We see Alvin barrel across a piece of wood. You dodge with just a moment's left breath. And then we see as you turn the corner, and spilling out of the general store behind them is 3, 4, 5 giant ants. We can see them sort of like seemingly moving their heads about in the air, looking for something. And then one of them comes out just like a big bag of oats and grains, like a frontier survival pack, an MRE of this time. It's carrying it in its mandibles, and it skitters away off town, seemingly trying to escape with it. We see as the 3 ants that menace against you, we see Clayton turn towards them and Ethel say, "What the hell's going on?" And the rest of the town just erupts in chaos. Alvin, what do you want to try to do to help out here?
Okay. Is there a porch, an overhang over the front of the general store where the ants are? If they're just outside the general store, is there something above them, like a roof above them?
Yeah, the porch has an awning covering wood. It's certainly well nailed to the storefront, but a little magic goes a long way. Here, Alvin, what do you want to try?
He's going to try to bring it down, and I'm not sure what that would be.
Sounds like a use magic to me, but honestly, you've got I would say a big whammy could be another way to do this. You want to deal 2 harm to all the ants with a big whammy?
Yep, let's go ahead and do that, and let's see what happens.
All right, you're going to roll plus weird to kick some ass. Your weapon you're using is a roof, and the attack is going to do 2 harm. Close, obvious, ignore armor.
Okay. That is even with that +3, that's a 7.
A 7 will mean that as you hold your hand out to try to bring this thing down, can you describe how it manifests?
I would say that there's no visual manifestation of this as he holds his hand out to try to bring it down. It's just more of a gesture, as if from distance he's pulling it down. But it does say that there's a backlash from it, a magical backlash from it.
Only on a miss. Only on a miss. So your 7 is a mixed success. Worry
okay.
not.
I would say that I'd say that while if the most that you might be able to see is something that could to anyone else look like the movement of air and heat. That sort of slight wavering, but I'd say absolutely. If it comes down, yeah, it does the harm, but it overspills so that he gets in this mixed success, could he take an injury as well?
Yeah, I'm thinking you can either have it from the ants or from the shrapnel. Which would you prefer?
Oh, let's see. Even ants, odd shrapnel. Shrapnel.
We see as the roof explodes downward, it crashes into this, and shrapnel goes wide. Alvin, you're the only one who takes a big chunk, but it does hit you hard. You will take 1 harm as you feel a big splinter of wood jut from your forearm. Dr. Kelly, Angelo, across the way, town you're picking yourselves up just the same way, ears ringing. Already, Dr. Kelly, you can see Alvin running off somewheres. Where is our Hex headed next? Or our Crooked?
I think Dr. Kelly would run after Alvin, and she's still got the 2 bottles in her hand, and seeing the saloon explode, she's just like, Well, this is why I grabbed the bottles before I ran. Anyhow, this seems urgent now, and she's chasing after him. Does she see these giant ants?
Definitely. And a familiar sight in some ways. Long ago, you saw insects as large as this from an errant spell gone awry, Dr. Kelly. So this, as you come around the corner, this isn't as surprising to you as it may have been to others. However, they do seem dangerous, and more importantly, you see that roof come crashing down on 3 of them, and they are starting to already pull themselves from that wreckage. To harm did not kill them yet.
Well, I gotta say, this most likely is not my fault. I am sure. I don't think so. Anyhow, she's gonna throw one of the bottles at the ants that have been hit by the roof, but she would like to resize this bottle before she throws it.
Ooh, giving it a big bottle energy. We're gonna go for the hex rote resize.
Yes.
Tell us what it looks like and what you do, and then roll plus weird.
All right, so she sort of starts to fling one of the bottles out, and as it flies through the air, she chants, lines stretch into air, curves collapse to points of light, size obeys the will. And the bottle gets bigger. She rolled a 10.
10. The bottle gets bigger. It is resized without issue. We see as it smacks into one of these things. Are you trying? You're inflicting harm, I assume.
Yeah, I want to try to get the bottle to shatter and cover them with alcohol, perhaps.
Wonderful. You do take 1 harm as you need to spill your own blood to cast that rote. However, as you do so, go ahead and roll to kick some ass here. I'll say with this, you can have weird instead of tough.
That's a 12.
Big old bottle. A 12 plus means you get an enhanced effect. Dr. Kelly, would you like to give everyone +1 forward? Suffer no harm at all. Inflict double the normal harm, or drive the enemy away in a rout.
I'd like to drive him away.
The bottle comes crashing down. We see it smash into the top of this roof. It crashes over. The glass shatters, killing one of these ants right away. The other 2, now confused, the alcohol's dulling their senses, go scrambling back into the general store and down into their hole, and you've driven these first ants away in a rout. We see as you turn around that the space near the general store seems to be clear. Angelo, you watch this enormous bottle fly across the sky. It passes past the sun, and for just a second, the shadow has that glimmer of liquid through glass. And you can see it like a stained glass window go overhead. And then you turn towards the saloon. They've managed to kill the ants there as best you can see, but the building is in wreckage, and there are still people that need help. Is our crooked going to do anything about that?
I think now that it's calmed down, he's gonna try to make his way over there. But as he's doing that, he yells and he's just like, "Dr. Kelly, don't you move from that spot! I'll be right back just to settle up."
As you start to go help, the first person you come to is the woman you were talking to in the bank, and she's on the ground, sort of like wheeling from that explosion. You pull her to her feet. She thanks you. Oh wow, what happened? What was that explosion?
Well, my guess is good as yours, but as you can see, these ants, they're causing a lot of damage. I'm not a man of, say, magic or supernatural events, but this is quite something.
Well, yes, they shouldn't be attacking like this unless they're territorial or experiencing some sort of distress. These are, in many ways, peaceful creatures. I don't understand. Why did they blow up? And as she says that, Angelo, you look back towards the saloon. Go ahead and give me a quick investigate a mystery for our crooked.
That is a 10.
A 10. 2 questions for you. What would you like to know?
Let's see. Really, what's happening here, right? Because is there, I guess my line of thinking is, can we tell if we're close to a nest or something?
Sure.
If
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
territorial.
That's a great question. As you start to look around and kind of sense this, she says, "An ant this large, we would see the hill from space. You could see it from the night sky. What's the nature of this?" And as you start to look around, you can tell they're certainly not from here. Angelo, she seems to think this is a native species, though, which means that their hill or territory is likely around. You also gather that, based on what you saw them trying to carry, they came looking for food. They came to steal the food from the general store and the organic material from the tavern. They weren't attacking the bank where money is stored or any of the other places, and they certainly aren't considering humans food yet. But they came for your grains and the things that have been shipped from greener pastures. That's what's being concealed here, Angelo. And as our hunters all kind of come together in the aftermath of this, those ants driven back, the roof of the general store crushed into the porch, we see Clayton and Ethel. Clayton, Ethel's hand is no longer, and she's looking down at it, trying to bind the wound herself with a strap of fabric. What does our gumshoe do here?
Well, it looks like you might need to see the doctor about that.
Yes, I know. I was really hoping that I didn't have to go see her. She's scary. And she comes around the corner and says, Dr. Kelly, Dr. Kelly, uh, well, I seem to have accrued a wound of sorts. Is there anything you can do for it?
Always for you, anything, Ethel. But we seem to have a big ant problem at hand. Do you want me to fix you now or later?
Is there any way to stop this? The bleeding before we let it go? I may not have long.
Sure,
She's
no.
already turning pale.
Oh, no problem. She's gonna pop up in the second bottle that she was holding and just like pour it on the wound. This will stop in no time. It's all good.
It sizzles and pops, and she holds onto it, and then we see Clayton. You can see for just a moment why she feared to be treated by the doctor. Clayton, is this your first meeting with Dr. Kelly? No, you've used her for a case before, so she and you both know this is a case that both of you can contribute to solving. What do we say as we approach together for the first time in this adventure?
Dr. Kelly, what say you on this?
Well, I am mostly sure it is not my fault, but it is not the sky falling that I thought it was when we were in the saloon. We should probably check out the aftermath, though. I think they seem to come out of there, and maybe that could lead us to where they're coming from. Ethel, we'll get back to you. Don't worry. Stop turning blue. Just mind over matter.
Oh. Dr. Kelly, you and Clayton are headed into the general store. Clayton, do you need to be persuaded to go along, or are you ready to go without prompting?
I'm ready to go. I'm always interested in the mysteries.
The two of you head inside. Alvin, you see them start to step gingerly over the bodies of the crushed ants that you and Dr. Kelly have just slain or driven back. And you feel pretty confident that whatever they're doing, it's trouble. Alvin, what do we see our spooky do?
I'd say the first thing that Alvin does, it does start towards the door as well. Something from all of this wreckage flutters down by his feet, and he grabs hold of it and looks at it, and it's one of those wanted posters for Philip Overton. And he looks at it, and he kind of grips it, crumples it in his hand, and then he heads in after them.
In that case, let's see the last folk on the street here. Angelo, everyone's headed into that general store for now. It's a certain thing that's the most dangerous place in town, if it's not the smoldering ruins of the front half of the tavern. But our crooked doesn't have to follow. You certainly haven't been convinced or coerced to. Where do we see Angelo go?
I think Angelo, he's been talking to this woman, peddling ant insurance to the town.
Oh, yeah. We need ant insurance. That's true.
It's my unfortunate that you're built on an ant hill, but these things happen and you need insurance. Uh, he he looks at what remains of the ants and he's kind of like um scraping off pieces and putting them in jars of alcohol to kind of like preserve it.
Yeah.
And he kind of thinks to himself and mutters like, "Well, the other young lady was talking about pheromones. Maybe I could whip something up and, well, at the very least, keep myself safe."
Angelo, as you
And
start to think about doing that, you may have the materials at your shop or at your cart, but the assay office in town where they sort of uh, verify the quality of ores and veins that they pull out of the mines could also have a lot of that stuff. And if Dr. Kelly's predisposed, that would be the other expert in town to talk to here. Are you going to try it yourself, or are you going to get help?
I think he's going to get help, but he is going to drive his wagon further into town because now his leg is just tip tapping all around. He's like, "That Dr. Kelly needs to fix his leg sooner or later."
We
And
can see a tip-tappy leg. Your cane is sort of helping, but now it kind of looks like you're in like a dance number. Like, we just see you kind of like picking it up and side to side for a second. You're like, damn you, Dr. Kelly! Fist shaking. You pull your cart up beside the assay's office, and we'll add a clue to our board here. Standing outside of it is the assayer, Alvaro. He, kind of a thin, wheedly Hispanic man. He has some thin mustache hair on his upper lip, a really nice attire that's now covered in dust from something that fell in his office. And as you approach, he looks at you and says, "Did I just see you collect pieces from those creatures?"
well, I can't hide this. Yes, I'm a bit of a salves maker myself, so I think sometimes you gotta make a natural solution for ailments that we experience.
A natural solution, you say? Ugh, this is a disgusting practice. What do you think? I am a taxidermist? And Angelo, you feel like he's not inclined to help you without manipulating here. What do you want to do? Looking
Well,
past
I
him,
think he's
his shop is
yeah.
full of the stuff you need. You won't need to use any of your materials if you can convince him. So, you can certainly go do your own stuff, but it'll cost you.
Well, sir, I think they don't all have to be disgusting. I'm sure we could figure something out. You might have something I might need, and I might have something that you need.
Roll to manipulate someone. +3 to charm for our crooked, so good odds on the bones.
I think I'm gonna use my grifter move right here.
Nice. Grifter, will you please read it for us?
When you're about to manipulate someone, you can ask the keeper what will convince this person to do what I want, and the keeper must answer honestly, not necessarily completely.
Perfect time to use it. This man secretly, like, he yearns for the adventure that you are so desperately trying to avoid. He's peeked out of his office at whatever's happening because he's excited it's happening here. Wow, I get to be a part of something crazy for once. And despite his disgust at the materials you've collected, if you can convince him that he's going to be a part of solving the mystery, he'll help you. No questions asked.
Well, sir, remind me what your name is again.
Well, I'm Alvaro, sir. I've come from a little south of Oaxaca.
All right, Mr. Alvaro. If I'm being honest with you, I have this very uncanny attraction to strange events that they just can't seem to not happen around me. And well, I think these these remains that I've collected might be the source of a solution, and I'd like to use some of your wares to try to find a way to stop these ants from creating more havoc. What say you help me?
Oof. Well played. We see him nod and sort of look around and be like, kind of like a hero of sorts, you might say. Yes.
And
Yes. I
he
can see it now.
that's right, and he wraps his arm around him. You, every hero plays a part, and this could be your part that you fill.
The two of you head into the assay's office and start to work. We can see a space that's absolutely full of vials and jars and scales, decanters, and Bunsen burners, the style of old timey Wild West flavor. We see the two of you start to get to work. Our last scene will be short because we're just about ready to head to break, but we see three hunters looking down at a hole in the general store floor. Wooden boards are burst open and outward as if something is punched up from below. You can see the crate shattered, absolutely shattered by one bite of the mandibles. And as the three of you look down at the dark hole, you can't help but feel like giving this creature, heading into that tunnel without finding out more could be dangerous. As we stare at it and look around, take our final moments before break. What do our hunters do here?
I saw one of them head up into the hills. Do you think maybe we follow them that way, or we follow them? He points at the hole this way. But I don't think we can just turn our backs on this.
I think we need some proper way to fight these insects. I tried scraping with one barehanded, and look what that got me. So, I believe we might need some more firepower.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestions of what that might be.
Firepower is a good plan. I mean, apparently, Alvin, you said we got a guy who just rolled into town whose wagon is usually full, so we can probably just grab some things from there.
Yes, that is true. We could certainly take advantage of our wandering fellow there. Why don't we go find him?
Yeah, it would be a good plan to be prepared. These things seem quite nasty. But whether we decide to go down the hole or up the hill, we better have something, or else we'll end up without hands. I don't know if I can do no-handed magic. Haven't tried that yet.
And I'd prefer to not have to use any Dr. Kelly's services. No offense.
That, excuse me. I fully understand.
Dr. Kelly
Down.
sneezes.
Yeah, go ahead, Pinky.
Dr. Kelly sneezes. What's wrong with the surfaces?
We see the three of you preparing. You step back from the hole, knowing you got to learn more before you can give this thing home field advantage. You may need to dig into the tunnels at some point, but you want to make sure that you're going in prepared. And you head out of the general store towards Angelo, wherever he may be. For now, that seems like a really good place to take a break. With his wanted poster in hand, we see Alvin on the back of the pack looking down at the spell slinger you suspect might be involved in this. And as we look up in the horizon at the next town over, you're sure that Augustus Pemberton knows where he may be. As we all start to get ready to prepare ourselves for the third act of this adventure, let's take a quick break. 15 minutes for our viewers. We'll be back in just a few to chat with our players, so top off your coffees, whatever beverages, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, but make sure your boots are well oiled and your hat's on straight when we get back. I'll see you in a few.
Okay, are we out?
We're out. All right, let's get back to the action. Our hunters, last we left off, were walking away from the tunnel in the general store. A hole burst from the floor, wood shattered and splintered and sprayed all across, a broken porch to step across on your way out the door. Across the way, the smoldering, still burning ruins of the front half of the saloon, and a bunch of civilians milling about. We can see Sheriff Tom Bradley. He's sort of like trying to keep them organized as best he can, but panic will soon set that crowd to a mob. We can see next to the four of you as you're sort of, or the three of you as you're headed towards Angelo, assuming you can find him near his cart. That the civilians are all looking at you as well, superstitious and wary, as some of them saw you pull that roof down on the porch, Alvin. A few whispers are going around like, how did he do that? And we can see the crowd is not entirely on any one of your sides right now. What do you want to do as you make your way towards Angelo?
Alvin will just say out of the corner of his mouth, "Let us keep walking and head straight to the cart. I don't want to talk to any of these people, but let me know though if you see Pemberton."
I mean, don't need to tell me twice. Dr. Kelly is skipping straight towards the cart. She is ready to grab some supplies. She does shout to the townspeople, "Let me know if anyone needs help later. I'm busy right now, though. Meet me at the tent."
Yeah, you can see a few people. You're the only one of the group that's getting looks that are like, we're happy to see you around, because there's a lot of injured folks around. And Clayton's getting more neutral expressions. The crowd doesn't know exactly who you are. A few maybe have heard of your, of the cases you've solved and the people you've brought to bear, Clayton. But I think you're more on the Alvin side here. They see you as some sort of superstitious, something to be superstitious about as well. As you make your way across town, is there anything that anyone wants to do before we head to the assay's office?
I'd like to talk to the sheriff.
Tom Bradley greets you as you walk up. He gives you a wary handshake and kind of looks you up and down. He says, "You're all right. So you didn't get caught in a beam or fall or anything?"
Yeah, seems like my luck still prevails. I've come to you with a little bit of a question. It seems like there is a bit of a scourge upon this town. These insectoid freaks seem to be messing things up. You already got 2 establishments taken down. What do you say you lend a few guys? We're trying to take them down, see what the big deal is, and try to put a stop to this. So if I could have a man or two to help out, that'd be much appreciated.
Perfect. This sounds like you're trying to use the Naked City here. Would you like to give that a roll? You can hit them up for info. I'm sorry, will you please, it's a pretty big move, will you please read the Naked City for us?
Yeah, so you have lots of personal contacts wherever you go. Pick 4 contact types from the following areas. I chose police local as one because that seemed like it was very fitting. You can hit them up for info for +1 to investigate a mystery roll or small favors, but there may be a small cost involved. Personal contacts can provide more significant help, but the keeper decides their price on a case-by-case basis.
Well, we're going to need to manipulate someone here because you're asking for men at a pretty tough time. They're already spread fairly thin trying to keep this crowd from turning, but go ahead and roll plus charm. Let's see what you've got with a 1 to add to your bones.
So that's an 11 + 1, a 12.
A 12 is a perfect success. And in addition, on manipulate someone, not only do they do what you want them to do, but they also become your ally for the rest of the mystery. He looks you up and down and sees a man more capable of doing this job than he is right now. And he sort of like, yeah, all right, Clayton. You got the boys. And me if you need me. This crowd's gonna turn sour, though, so I need you to take care of them first.
I think we can maybe ask for a little bit of help from one of your strange friends, or do you want to do it yourself? Because we've got a time bomb on our hands back here. And you can see ladies and men dressed in fine, folks spread about, getting clamored. What do you want to do, Clayton?
Well, friends are certainly one way to call them, but I suppose I can enlist some of their help. Um, I might ask. He seems to be elsewhere, but Angelo seems to have a bit of a silver tongue, able to keep people calm, so I might enlist his help in taming this crowd.
Hold him here for you now. And he puts his arms out and keeps going, and you step away towards the assay's office. You seem to have a gang of folk at your help as soon as you can calm this crowd down, and the sheriff's on your side. We see you turn back to Alvin and the doctor, who, did you wait for Clayton, or did you head straight to Angelo? His cart is out front of the assay, so.
I think
I think
Dr. Kelly stopped by the saloon to grab another bottle and then headed straight to the wagon.
You found one,
Direct
of course.
saloon, just
No roll, you find one, naturally. And Alvin?
Alvin did not approach the sheriff at all. So he's stopped in front of the assay's office and he's watching the interaction. His face very carefully neutral.
Very carefully. In that case, we turn to the assay as Clayton walks up. We can see and hear through the open windows of the building as Angelo and Alvarez are just sort of like whipping something up in the background. We
Yeah,
can see them sort of doing science and just kind of getting things prepared. What is Angelo doing here?
honestly, I would love to color it. Like, I know this is a Western, but they're totally having like an 80s style montage
Ooh,
with
nice.
like just like whipping stuff up. Like, it's just cutting from, you know, scene to scene. Like, all of a sudden, like, Alvarez has a banjo and they're not even like making the tinctures. They're just going hard. Um, and then the finished product, you know, they finally have like a belt full of these sort of like pheromone bombs, you know.
Ooh. A successful roll to see. We'll see if they are successful here. I think you have a couple of things here to make benefit. So they're going to succeed in some way. Let's see to what degree here. I think you can use. I would go with an act under pressure, unless you'd like to argue something else. Preparedness, perhaps, would be an interesting use of this here. Would you like to read that one?
So preparedness is when you need something unusual or rare, roll sharp. On a 10 plus, you have it right here. On a 7 or 9, you have it, but not here, and it'll take some time to get it. On a miss, you know where it is, but it's somewhere real bad.
I think that's the right move here. Go ahead and roll plus sharp. Let's see if these bombs are ready, or if they still need something else.
Oh, thank goodness. That is a 12.
A 12 will do it. You are prepared. You have everything that you need that you think you can make with these materials. And whatever they are, protection, attack, whatever pheromones you've instilled in this, you can decide at one point, but they must all be the same. Alvin and Clayton step into the office just as you finish. We see you finishing up your signs. What do you take off gloves? Where do your goggles go? Like, what do we see in your last moments here?
You just see Angelo take his apron off and slowly put his jacket back on, and he turns and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Broadsman, well, how are you doing with all these fissures?"
Oh, it's just marvelous. What are you doing in here?
Well, he looks over to Alvarez and he grins and he's like, "I think we've made some real magic over here. I've made these. I really don't know how to describe them other than bombs, but they don't really explode explode.
Yeah, they're not explosive. No.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not volatile.
I think these will essentially truncate our problem. I don't think the ants will really be able to do much when we expose them to their pheromones, really, distilled.
Pheromones. But it will incapacitate them.
Absolutely.
Well,
That just means
Or-
we have to find them.
I'm only hoping that it'll prevent them from sensing you. I don't know if it'll put the ants to rest or not. I believe this is something you can place upon yourselves or in a location to keep you basically invisible for them. It may be able to be used for more nefarious means, but
Angelo sort of shrugs and is like, Alvarez, don't worry about it. I'm the salesman here. We could be making a profit with these pheromones. See?
actually, they can take out all the ants. They're part of the ant insurance program, and we see that in the montage, you've really sort of snake oiled him up a bit. His hair's a little more slicked, his tie is buttoned up, he has like a shiny ring on one finger now, and the two of you are pitching together these bombs. Thank you. Was Dr. Kelly here as well? I think you were somewhere else just now, weren't you? Did you go anywhere before you headed to meet up with Angelo? To the tent.
Dr. Kelly is not inside. She is at the cart. She is already rummaging through. She's pulling stuff out. She found some lemons. That seems rare. She put that into the alcohol that she took from the saloon, the new high proof clear ever, and just grabbing some other things. She saw a satchel that said rare essential oils, so she took those too. Got one that smelled like peppermint. Lovely scent. And she's, digging through the spices right now. There's some cayenne pepper. She's, just helping herself.
Cucking and tossing and scrambling things round. We see a cart full of goodies. He's done well for himself on his way here, and his cart is absolutely packed full. And you are, when you start to leave, your pockets are as full as they can be. However, you're outside when another earthquake strikes. This one rumbles through the town. The ground shakes as you jump down from it, and a couple of the bottles tumble from... the paprika breaks upon a stone. We see it as it echoes multiple times. And then you sort of stand steady, looking around for more. Dr. Kelly, what would you like to do here as this earthquake strikes?
I think it's probably time for her to read a bad situation, see if she can find where the stuff's coming from.
Plus sharp is a 0 for the good doctor.
She got an 8.
One question, Dr. Kelly. What would you like to know?
I think, just where is it coming from? Where did it go? So she can head that way.
Great. You can see another one of those mounds forming, actively forming. It seems to have just come out of the stable, where you assume they've now dug and eaten into the hay or whatever provisions they provide the horses. And the mound has just pushed out and through, digging along the earth towards another building in town, likely a homestead with some food supplies or stores that they can smell. They're doing another raid. These ants are hungry. Whatever they're feeding, whatever they need to bring this food back to, is voracious. And they're trying to steal all of the town's food.
I think Dr. Kelly's gonna yell through the doorway. We got a hot tail, you guys. Better hurry up, whatever's happening there. Angela, I can't find the firecrackers. Where'd you hide them?
Dr. Kelly, you're in my cart?
Where else would I be?
All right, we have to go. Come on.
The three of you head out. As you step from the room, is there anything anyone wants to do with Alvaro the assay before we leave here? He may have an office full of supplies and other goodies that can be taken from.
I think that Alvin certainly would start grabbing these bombs or whatever they are.
As the ground shakes,
and-
anyone holding a jar will need to make me a quick act under pressure to make sure that you don't drop any. I think Angelo certainly has the most of them, but it sounds like Alvin's got a few as well. As the ground shakes, Clayton, what are you doing as these fools juggle jars?
I'm gonna see if he has any like gauze or anything to patch up my hand that almost got cut off by the ant.
Definitely. Inside of the office, we can see as he hands you a couple of like a yellowing iodine and some bandages. It isn't much, but it'll get you through until you can find better treatment. We see you in the background kind of wrapping and cleaning the wound, preparing it. It's now tied tight and ready. You tear off the last bit with your teeth. You see these guys juggling jars. Act under pressures for Mark.
It's a 9.
For Quack.
That is a 10.
A 9 and a 10. So, Alvin, a mixed success here. I'll let you drop a jar and take no harm, or I'll let you have something else that's important to you get jammed later. A weapon or something along those lines. You'll take no detriment to this scene.
I think something is going to happen later.
A jinx upon your house as you manage to keep these jars stable. The both of you succeed in taking them outside without dropping any, and in the cart you can see as Dr. Kelly is rummaging through your things. We see Clayton picking out the trail, the last out the door, and his wound now bound. The four of you look at Angelo's cart. Where are you headed next?
I think Dr. Kelly's gonna point the direction that she saw. Like, I think they're headed in there.
All right. Well, everyone get in my cart. We'll hightail it over there. Dr. Kelly, do me this one favor. I don't have any time to sell up any of these other problems I might be having. Just fix my leg.
We'll do it on the way. No problem. Just need to pour this on. I may need to take a couple cuts out.
And Angelo ushers everyone into his cart, including, I think, some of the sheriff's men too, right?
Yeah. Assuming that you've come out and the sheriff has remedied this and done what you asked with your 12, Grant. There's a couple of deputies here. They look like they've definitely experienced some minor wounds from the earthquakes, but they're ready to go. And you have room on the cart to bring them.
Just
Where
saying
are
some
we?
ground rules.
Mhm.
Do not touch anything in my cart. You touch, you buy.
We see like one of the deputies is like putting his finger towards a shrunken head hanging from one of the windows, and he like stops and pulls his finger back.
I'm watching you. All right, Dr. Kelly, you said that direction?
Just follow that path. Also, your leg seems fine. I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like it's acting up or anything.
Strangely enough, his leg is not acting up at all with Dr. Kelly being by his side.
Ah, classic hijinks.
Yeah, I think Alvin's going to look at Clayton and say, "So have you become in charge of this operation?"
That still remains to be determined, but I assume I have some sort of ad hoc leadership over this. I won't interfere too much as long as you don't get in the way too much.
Get in the way. Well, I'll certainly try not to. Oh, by the way, and he hands over the wanted poster. Do you know this fellow?
Clayton, you
I
know
may
him
have.
well. You've crossed paths multiple times in your travels across the states. A sorcerer, a magic man.
I may have seen him once or twice. What's to you?
I think I've seen him once or twice myself. And I don't trust him. Apparently, Pemberton doesn't either. Wonder what he did for Pemberton, or what he was supposed to do that led him to breach his contract.
Now, this may be something I might be interested in. I might need some more information on this.
A split up? You suggest? Where do we send our Spooky and Gumshoe in search of answers? Pemberton's office?
That sounds about right.
I think that sounds.
In that case, for the other side of the screen, for Angelo and Dr. Kelly, you head off with the gang in your cart. Is that correct? How fun. Clayton, is that the way you meant to separate the men? I just want to make sure you want to send them where they're to the danger, even if you're not going.
Yeah, I think I just want them to be kind of extra muscle to deal with the ants. So yeah.
We see the cart loaded tall with deputies and the sheriff's men begin to head out of town as our dust settles. Alvin and Clayton step towards the mine office. There, we can see Pemberton inside his office. He's he looks like he's going through ledgers or books himself. You recognize it very clearly as the type of things that he's not really good at, the type of things that he would maybe pay you to do, right, Alvin? And inside and across from him, we can see the old foreman of the mine, an African American man, kind of grizzled, black beard, tight knit hair on his head. He's sort of wringing his hat as he stands across from Pemberton when the two of you enter the room. And Pemberton looks up at him and he says, "I'm sorry, Marcus. There's just nothing I can do. I don't have the work for you this week. Please, check back in again next week. We'll see if we've opened up a new vein for you." And Marcus throws his hat on the ground. He says, "I need work. Augustus, you can't just starve my family like this. There hasn't been good food delivery in weeks. I need coin. Give me a job." And Augustus stands and points, "You're out of line now, Marcus. Get gone. I'll speak to you again next week." He walks out the door past you, and Augustus looks at the two of you. He says, "Gentlemen, to what do I owe the pleasure?"
There's a moment while Alvin just stares daggers at Pemberton, and then he walks up and tosses the poster on the desk and says, "Looks like you may have someone interested in this body, assuming we all make it through the afternoon with what's going on out there."
"Well, about damn time. I've had that poster up for, feels like a couple of damn weeks now, and I still haven't really had any hooks in them. You headed there now?"
Headed where?
"Well, as far as I can tell, he's at Greensfold, about an hour's ride west, in the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. He could be as far as Rome. I'm not sure how far he's gotten since last my little bird saw him. But if you're looking for a way, I think Marcus was the one who brought me the news, hoping I'd give him a job. That's the man I just sent skittering away for work, looking somewhere else. You take care of this, Alvin. I'll make sure you're paid good, even if you gotta split it between the two of you."
What did this Overton do? Anyway, it might help. If we know a little bit more, it might help us track him down a little better.
"Well, he breached his contract. He told us he'd cast some sort of spell to make dynamite like we ain't never seen before. Open up the mine, something proper. He was supposed to blow them foothills down to Timbuktu. But as far as I saw, it was more of a pop and a fizzle. I didn't see a little bit of magic. And now here we are a few weeks later with earthquakes and terrible tragedies. It's gotta be his fault."
Oh, I'm sure it must be.
"I've had my men trailing him for the weeks since he left. They drove him out of town, and I didn't feel good about him taking my coin, so I had a couple of boys trail him. But we lost him in Rome. He was settled out in Greenfold for a while, though. He's got a family somewhere between the two.
Have your boys come back?
Well, only Marcus. He says the others are still trying to keep tabs on him.
Alan looks over at Clayton, says, "Sound like a job you're interested in?"
Seems like we might need to get ourselves over to Greenfold.
I think we must.
The two of you leave with some coin in pocket and a pair of fresh Pemberton horses beneath you. We see you ride off and out of town, headed that way. We pan across the desert, scrub and sagebrush, and the occasional Joshua tree, tufts of stone that karst out of the earth like claws. And we pan across to a wagon riding hard across the road. It's following what looks to be a trail that that meanders and weaves, literal oats from the bag it stole. What you're tracking, like a breadcrumb trail to Hansel and Gretel's demise. And we see a scene of Angelo and Dr. Kelly, like, picking up one here and then like standing on a stone and looking at another one. I got one here, and we see like a bunch of these motifs as you follow it along. But it ends at the entrance to a mine. The deputies all hop down and they look at the open mouth, the black hole yawning, and they look at the two of you warily. Sheriff Tom Bradley steps forward and he says, I don't like the looks of this. Well, what's the plan? I thought that Clayton was in charge, so it must be one of you two. Who's calling the shots here?
I think y'all are mighty strong men. How about I here give you some of these vials? I don't know how many Angelo has, but he starts passing them around.
Roll a d6 for me. You get 1d6 plus 1.
That is 5.
5. Okay, so you've got a good bit. You could give it to the whole gang and still keep one behind, or you could try to get them to split them and have enough for you and the doctor, no matter what happens.
Because he's self-preservation is a must for him, he only gives them 2 amongst all the deputies.
We see as you pass them across, and then you and Dr. Kelly look at the remainder of them yourself. We see them sort of uncork and douse themselves with it. It doesn't look like much, but when they step in, there's the sound of something sort of skittering in, and we see one of them look up and go, oh shit, it's covered them in here. There's ants all over the walls. And another guy who hasn't uncorked his jar yet steps forward, and we see spit across. It hits him right in the face, and he sizzles back. There are guardians at the door, and the first man who uncorked those pheromones was not affected. They didn't even seem to notice him there. The two of you look at each other warily as the third deputy kind of like goes to the man. She's administering some basic first aid, but your gang is diminished. Doc, Angelo, who's first in the mine's doors?
I think that Dr. Kelly is going to rifle through the little essential oils pouch that she took from the wagon and find the one that says like eucalyptus. She's just gonna throw that one into the entrance. She's like, I know some of these things work whenever I leave a pie too long at home and the ants start crawling all over. If they work on small ants, they should work on big ants. This wasn't too pricey, was it, Angelo?
Dr. Kelly, I really wish you would stop going through my wares without asking me permission first.
Don't worry, I told you I'll fix up that leg, although I can't figure out what's wrong with it. Seems jumpy every time I say I'll cut it open, though.
As it jumps.
Oh, no. We see you sort of spring a little bit, and then we see you toss this vial in. Are you going to make it big before it falls? Or are you tossing it in at the size that it is?
Oh, we should make it big. Yeah. That's a Dr. Kelly must.
Then in that case, let's roll for the hex. It'll be plus weird to see if you can increase this. Angelo, whether she succeeds or not, the vial does grow. And it gets so large you can't help but think, if I had that much essential oil, whew, that's worth it. That's worth all of her debt and some. Just one of those barrels.
I think he vocalizes that. He puts a hand on Dr. Kelly's shoulders and is like, I think we can make this work. If you can help me make all of this happen, that will go away. Anyhow, he kind of like douses some of the pheromones on Dr. Kelly. We can't have you disappearing on me again. As he also puts the pheromones on themselves.
Dr. Kelly is distracted by what Angela said. What you saying back there? She's casting her hex. Does not roll so well. She gets a 7.
7 is a mixed success on your
Distracting
hex.
me, Angelo.
On your rote for this one, your mixed success is that it works imperfectly with a glitch or after effect. What do we see?
I think maybe it gets a little out of control. I think maybe the glass vial, the glass part expands, but the oils itself do not get bigger.
A convenient glitch for this scene we see as the bottle breaks and glass goes everywhere, but just a little bit of oil spills out. And Angelo, your eyes immediately crestfallen look back down. It isn't as you imagined. It isn't just waves of essential oils. No, it's just big jars. And you can still make money on those, but it's not the same money. And then, Dr. Kelly, as this crashes in, we keep an eye on the ants. And one of the deputies says, "They're moving back. That fancy oil stuff's working good. It's really sending them." And we see through his eyes for a moment, we pan up and see the top of the cavern where the ants are marching away from where the smell is too potent for them. You have 2 tricks up your sleeve. 1, the pheromones, and 2, the essential oils. Who takes the lead as you begin to enter? Are you going
I
to send
think
one of the deputies in first, or?
Angelo's gonna go to the entrance of the mine and try to usher them and be like, well, what are you waiting for? It's time to go and solve this problem, no?
Go ahead and roll to manipulate someone. They don't want to be first in the door.
Also, watch out for those glass pieces. My bad.
That's a 9.
A 9 is a mixed success. You're going to have to convince them a little more to succeed. What do you do?
Well, you see, these pheromones, it takes a genius to make such a tincture that's so effective. Now, there's a lot of money to be made, and I can make it worth your while when we return from this whole ordeal. What say you?
Boys, and the one who just bandaged the man's face, the woman looks up from where she's crouched. The injured, like fully bandaged now, his head all wrapped, and they look at each other like, "We could use the coin real desperate, Mr. Belmonte. We'll do it." And they start to head in. The 2, and then the other sort of make sure the last is okay before the whole gang starts to go. And we see our hunters follow close behind. Across the way, across the desert, we see the horses ride. Into the desert, sun setting, you go, and then behind the mountains, it crashes, and soon the land is draped in twilight and dim. We see as you ride first into Greenfold, and there's a small scene of you talking to a few people, gathering information about where you can find your adversary, and you're pursued. As you are making your way, let's take a quick look at the clue table here, because it's the most convenient place to look at Philip Overton's wanted poster as well. As we make our way through and into and out of Greenfold, headed on the directions of the locals who know his way, we see a small homestead. Off of the beaten path, about a quarter of a mile, the 2 of you ride up and see this building's profile cast in shadow. A keen eye shows that there may be people on the 2nd floor looking out through the blinds. What would you 2 like to do?
before they actually reach it,
Okay.
I think that can they approach it and still be out of sight?
Absolutely.
Most likely.
A sneaky approach is viable. I
Good.
would call it an act under pressure.
Okay. Well, then I'd say that then there's something else with this. If Alvin will say to Clayton, I don't think you trust me very much, do you?
I'd be lying if I said I did, but I don't trust folks too much.
Then let's give you something to really not trust. Stand there, watch me, and don't let me come to any harm. And what Alvin will do is looking ahead at and I can see this maybe in addition to act under pressure, but looking ahead at the homestead, he is going to try to tune in to Philip Overton.
Yeah, you are. A tune-in roll. Mark, will you please read us the move?
Okay. You can attune your mind to a monster or minion. Roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, hold 3. On a 7 to 9, hold 1. On a miss, the monster becomes aware of you. Spend 1 hold to ask the keeper one of the following questions and gain a +1 ongoing while acting on the answers.
Perfect.
And then question.
Go ahead
And
and keep our
questions.
questions to the ones you ask.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and
All
roll
right.
plus weird.
I'm going to use the luck.
You're gonna use your luck. What did you roll?
Rolled a 5, which would be an 8, but he really wants this to
I
come
understand.
off.
I understand. And a 12 plus, it will be. You get 3 questions. As you push your mind out, you can feel that there is a number of presences in the building, unfamiliar to you. These people, unseen and unknown. You do not have a clear context for who or which one is Philip, but you do know that they are aware of you. Even from here, sort of pressuring from the outside as you begin to push on the edges, you can feel that they know you're out there somewhere. They know they've been made. What do you want to ask, Mark? What does
Well,
Alvin want to
it
know?
sounds like but what is it planning to do right now?
One person sits in the second story window with a rifle ready. Another stands beside the door, tucked past a bookshelf with a pistol in hand. They're looking to ambush anyone who may come through the door or arrive by road.
Alvin will mutter so that Clayton will hear him. It's a rifle on the second floor. It's looking out. Someone at the door as well. And the next question is going to be, who does it regard as the biggest threat?
Currently, as you tune in, and I will say that question reaps you the additional benefit of figuring out which one is Philip by his fear. Philip regards you and whoever you may be who has come through the town of Greenfold, who he has been warned is looking for him. You are his biggest threat. He does not seem to fear anything connected to the mystery other than you.
He knows we're here.
Mark, hold that question for just 1 second. Clayton, as you're standing there kind of keeping watch over this, we see as you clock the rifle butt or the rifle barrel in the second story window. We see as you see a shadow walk past a first story window. You realize Alvin is seeing something more than what eyes can see and attention can find. What do we see our gumshoe doing while Alvin tunes in?
I think he's got his hand on his revolver. He's kind of thumbing the hammer a little bit. Now,
Ready
I
to
don't know
go.
how you know all that. I don't know what sort of powers you've got, but I'm gonna be inclined to believe him.
Alvin, one more question. You want to go with the
How can I?
classic? Where is the creature right now?
Yeah, where's the creature right now?
Hold up in the basement of that building ahead of you, you see as you skirt round that there is a cellar door, the likes of which opens from the outside. And you feel confident Philip Overton is in the basement of that building. That may very well be a way in, avoiding the guns. As the two of you skirt round, so far as you can tell, unseen, Clayton, you lead the charge. What do you want to do here as Alvin conveys that information?
Well, it certainly seems like they've got themselves holed up for a last stand here, so I'd probably advise against going through the front door. Let's see if they have a back entrance.
They do.
Already pointing, Alvin leads you there, and the two of you spy this cellar. Clayton, as quiet as can be, you open it up, and the doors, the steps descend down into a cellar. As you step in, you can see someone is moving about back there through the shelves, and they don't seem to have noticed you yet. We can hear them kind of humming to themselves low, working on something with a little lantern up on a shelf. You've got the jump on them. Clayton, what do you want to do here?
I'm gonna draw my weapon, and I'm gonna point out where I heard the sound last, and I'm gonna say, whoever may be in there, it might be in your best interest to come out with your hands up.
A human monster is Philip Overton, so he will still be manipulatable. Please roll to manipulate someone, plus charm for Mr. Clayton. Let's see if you can intimidate him into coming out by command.
So that'll be a 9 plus 1, a 10.
A 10 is a success. We see shaking as Philip Overton steps out from behind the shelves. He says, Are you with Augustus? Are you with Pemberton's men? Please don't kill me.
Hold on, no one's killing you yet. I just want to know some information.
We see Clayton step into the space. Alvin, he's let himself be known, and there's a chance he's been heard through the floorboards. Does our spooky do something different?
Oh, Alvin is you glance up and he will try to sense it. This is a read. He will try to sense, have they been heard through the
Alvin,
floorboards?
I'll say this. You can certainly use a move here to try to do that, or you can use a move here to try to avoid that happening, right? Like, if you want to try to manipulate somebody with telepathy here, who am I to say that you couldn't tell them they didn't hear anything at all? Like a Jedi mind trick.
Okay, that is something that can happen with telepathy. You're right. You can manipulate someone without speaking.
We're going to roll that
There was
plus
no one in the
charm
basement.
nonetheless, though, so it is still only a 1. As you reach up through the floorboards into the one with the pistol ready by the door, what did you roll?
Okay. That is a 10.
A 10. Through your mind, you speak to them. You convince them to know that there was no sound down below. And though the voices may still come through the base floor, we can see that they seem to be ignoring them to some extent. For now, you have a zone of silence. Overton, Philip comes out around the corner. He says, look, I didn't mean for the spell to go awry, okay? I spelled and I ensorcelled the dynamite just like I was asked to, and then I placed the stick where they told me to place it. I cast my spell, and I lit the fuse. What should have happened is it should have blown way up. Sky high, explosions so big that there's no doubt there was going to be silver to find somewhere in the wreckage. But it didn't go off. and I don't know what happened. I promise, if I could have made that thing go off remotely, I would have done it. But you don't just walk back into a mine when the dynamite hasn't blown, do you?
See, my issue is our payroll may be concerned with the dynamite. My main concern is the scourge approaching our town. We appear to have an issue with some beasts of some sort. That wouldn't happen to be you, would it?
Beast? What do you mean, beasts?
I think Alvin is looking up and he says, I think, Overton, something else blew up real big.
He looks horrified, and as he does, he says, he turns back to his desk, he pulls up a schematic, and he says, I've been doing something new with the dynamite. I've been using, in addition to the glycerin, some wood pulp from one of the forests out in California. The wood is good, and it soaks nice. It's much better than the diatomaceous earth. So I know that it's been good, but do you think something's been taking it out of that dynamite stick? Because I ensorcelled the whole thing.
I fear that may be an issue. We seem to be having a giant ant problem. An infestation, if you will.
Well, ants? You won't find me anywhere near an anthill. I got bit when I was a kid, and I tell you what, I have nothing to do with no giant ants. But if they're from my spell, then you may need my help. Where are they coming from?
We've got a few of our compatriots tracking them down right now. Tell you what, if you come and help us out, we may think twice about turning you in to Mr. Pemberton.
I think that is a very clever move here. Go ahead and roll to manipulate someone. That's going to be plus charm for Clayton. Another 1 to your bones.
So that is a
Can I
4
give
plus 1
a-
of 5?
Can I give a help out on this?
Let's see if he needs it. What did you roll? Did you just get a 9, Clayton?
I rolled a 4 plus 1 of 5. I think I'm going to use my luck here.
Ah. In that case, a 12 will do it for certain. How do you put this last hammer in the nail here to convince him to go?
I don't exactly know what Mr. Pemberton has planned for you, but certainly I fear it might be worse than whatever will come under our protection. So I think it might be in your best interest to come with us and help deal with this scourge upon our town.
We see as he nods his head and packs a few things in a bag. You can see as he throws together the spell components he used quick, and then we see the 3 of you riding off. Him probably riding second saddle on one of your horses. And we pan back to the anthill. Across town, across the way, across the desert, and through and into the fading twilight suns, we go deeper than dark can go and into the mouth of the yawning mine. Pemberton's silver mine sign swings in a low afternoon breeze, and we see as, at the back of the pack, Dr. Kelly and Angelo watch as they all around you. The tunnels are full of ants, the size of your hand for some, big ones trundling through, but most of them are just the size of I don't know, a dollar bill. Still bigger than you want them to be, but not as big as the soldiers that attacked the town earlier. And you can see that this whole tunnel is dedicated to food. Every ant on the walls is bringing food in or heading out to get more. As you watch this churn, you know that your pheromones are protecting you from turning into food as you enter. Doc, Angelo, what do you want to do here?
You're muted.
I guess we're just gonna go deeper and find the heart of this. Do you still see those guys from earlier? I lost them amongst the ants.
Like, looking around, I think that might be there. We should have brought down a torch. That would have been a real good idea. Can't you, with your magic, do something?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I did bring some dynamite, though. I put it in your back pocket. It's right behind you.
His
Probably
eyes
don't need it.
widen.
I mean, where else am I supposed to put it? I only have so many hands. I'm carrying this jar and this satchel. We should have brought the whole wagon down here.
Doctor, give me that satchel. He just snaps
But the
his
essential
puts,
oils. Don't drop any.
Good lord.
The two of you enter into a space that is larger, maybe a crossroads between chambers in the mine, and you can see that as you wind down the little cart paths that are hammered into the walkway to get things out, or minerals, whatever, are kind of crossed here. A small circle of rusted iron turning in place to let these carts move from place to place. But in here, we find that all of the ways forward are blocked. Posted into the entrance is what looks like an enormous wall of ant flesh. It has a sort of like a chitinous exterior, and it looks like there's two little eyes poking up out of the top of this. They've plugged this last chamber. You've come so deep and so far, and these ants stand in the way of what comes next. What do the two of you want to do?
I think Angelo's gonna read a bad situation. Like he's just looking around and it's just not lining up to him.
Doesn't look good. Absolutely plus sharp, good sir. 3 to the bones for thee.
That is a 9, so it gets 1.
Dr. Kelly, would you like to help out to make that a 10 by chance?
Yeah, Dr. Kelly will help out. She will do
That's
her best.
cool. Let's see what we got with 1 to your dice.
All right, she gets an 8.
An 8 will do it. You'll expose yourself to trouble or danger, but you will add 1 to the roll, giving 3 hold to Qua for Angelo. What do we got here? What do you want to know?
Okay. First off, what's our best way in?
The best way in, you can see that as larger ants come through with food in their hands, the enormous ants that are blocking this way move forward and shift to allow them to enter. The best way forward is to bring food and pretend you're an ant.
Okay. So for food, that sounds kind of dangerous, but is there any other dangers that we haven't noticed while we're down here?
You certainly know the walls are basically covered. You're in the center of an anthill. It's not a good place to be in general, but the smell of the pheromones has gotten stronger as you've approached. You get the sense that the queen is behind those ants protecting her. Whatever that last chamber looks like, these are her royal guard here. And they're enormous. They're the biggest ants yet. She may be even bigger behind them.
Okay. So, I think all the deputies, Dr. Kelly and Angelo, are kind of circled up, and he huddles them in, and he's just like, well, I think we're in the eye of the storm right now, and I don't think it's gonna get any better from here on out. Now, I have a proposal, and he looks over to the deputy that got spit on his face, you know, the injured one.
He's here, but he's fully like pale and gross and wounded, and he's like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's shoot him.
Now let me ask you this: is your family in dire straits?
Oh, I don't have no family. Ain't nobody gonna miss me when I'm gone.
His face lights up. Oh, perfect. We love to hear that. Well, I want to offer you the chance to be a hero. You understand where I'm going.
He looks between you and the food that the ants are carrying in, and you and the food the ants are carrying in, and then I'm gonna need to manipulate someone here. Quack on roll plus charm.
That is an 8, but I think I'm gonna use my luck because I really want to win this guy over.
I think that's a great choice. 12 will indeed do it. In fact, he feels like, as an ally to you, it is his obligation to do so. How do you turn him into food to present to these ants at the door?
Well, sir, I just want to let you know, you will be a legend for all the community to cheer and, you know, get behind. I need you to go behind that rock with Dr. Kelly for one hot second. Dr.
All
Kelly?
right, Dr. Kelly.
Have you
You
heard the
follow?
tale of old ant food, Greg?
All
Dr.
right,
Kelly
Doc.
leans over. Angelo, you want me to do what now?
He just like stares at Dr. Kelly and he's just like, I think you know what you need to do. Pull out your bone saw and make it happen.
Oh, okay. Well, usually these aren't the conditions, but I guess we can make that happen.
And dress it up, make it look very edible for these ants. Okay.
I'll do my best.
Doc,
All
we're
right,
gonna
thank you,
put
sir.
this behind a curtain, but what do we hear as you step behind the stone with this man? What kind of what do we observe?
I think that everybody just hears like very violent hacking sounds. I do think that she knocks him out, so there's no like
No screaming or
screaming
yeah.
or anything. It's just like concerning like cutting noises, sawing noises, and darn it, it got stuck again. And some sort of things like that. Anyone want to give me a hand? Oh, you look green. I guess you're not gonna help out. Don't vomit over here. We're supposed to make this look edible. But no one helps her.
Yeah, you
She's
have
like,
to do
no
it
one's
alone.
helping, Angelo. No one's helping me.
You have to do it alone, and when you emerge, we actually just see Dr. Kelly. Her arms are out of screen. We don't see what she's holding or what shape she's put it in, but everybody grimaces. Like, oh. And one of the deputies says, it does look kind of good. And then Dr. Kelly, as you like walk into the space, the ant opens as it pushes its head forward, and it allows the 5 of you, 6 if you count the remnants of this person, into the space. We see inside of this chamber the biggest ant you've ever seen. She's enormous. She's bulbous, and she lays upon her back just like a heaping pile of eggs. Ants are moving them all about as she goes. You can see that the back of the ant that you just walked past is also enormous. Its head used as a gate to bar this passage deeper. And as you make your way in, you can see that the other ants bringing in food are just stacking it on a pile next to the queen. It looks like it's a very small pile, and it looks like she's hungry. As you enter, she clicks her mandibles. She squeals aloud, and the 5 of you know you're in so much danger. What are you gonna do here?
Well, I guess we gotta put this on the pile and add it to the group. It seems like she just eats all this stuff. Do you think she filters them out? Maybe we could slip a couple of those dynamites from your back pocket in there, Angelo.
He's trying to like not vomit. Well, I think that's a good idea, Dr. Kelly. Here, he's just kind of like handing the satchel to Dr. Kelly. I think you should do this. I'm a little bit squeamish, as you can see.
Well, you're gonna have to figure it out, D'Angelo. I'm holding these body parts. I don't have hands for this. You gotta come with me. I don't have enough hands.
Oh, all right, Dr. Kelly. He kind of like covers his eyes and tries to shove the dynamite into the flesh.
We don't see it, it's all off screen, but we do hear a squelch, and it does go successfully into the offering. And then as you place it upon the pile, we see as you look around and take in stock. You've come in, you've done what you needed to do to be perceived as an ant, Dr. Kelly, and you have a moment to figure out what's going on in here. Can you roll to read a bad situation?
All right.
That's 0 to sharp. What did your bones say?
Got a 9.
A 9 will get you 1 question. What would you like to know?
Could I actually help out?
You certainly can, Angelo. Give it a roll. Plus, cool. How do you help? You're just looking around. No need. A 0 to cool. Careful.
Yeah. Bad news. As he was trying to look for a escape route. I think he just panicked a little bit. So that was a 5.
Fail and a luck point used already. Dr. Kelly, you get one question before all hell breaks loose. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna ask?
I think I'm gonna say just, what's the best way to protect the victims? Victims being us.
Yeah, the townsfolk and yourselves. Sitting next to her, as if it is part of the foods, you can see the dynamite stick. You see it's cracked open. There are ants actively taking a piece of it out of there. One of them scrambles down and takes like a little piece of wood pulp out of the stick and then carries it up the hill towards the mouth of this queen, and she leans over and just like takes it in her jaws. She's as explosive as the ants outdoors are, for sure. She will go up in flames at any hint of a light or fire. The best way to protect the victims is to blow her up. And as close as you are, the only way to do that is with a really long wick or with some magic. You're gonna need to get out of here before you do it. What do you want to do, Dr. Kelly?
I think she's gonna tell the others, well, this place is about to go up in flames. We're gonna need an exit route. Do you think any of those mine carts back there were working?
The deputy sort of tries one that's in here and sees that it's been mangled and broken, but says, I think the one out there should still work.
Well, we're gonna have to make our way pretty quick after this thing starts to light. I bet there's
Yeah.
something we could use as a really long wick.
Well, we gotta hurry up. It's not looking great. He kind of rummages through the satchel and he's like, I think this might be a good enough solution. And he tries to douse the dynamite and draw a line towards it.
You can certainly try that with an act under pressure here for cool, or if you need something unusual or rare, you can roll plus sharp instead for your preparedness. Let's
Let's try a little
Either way.
preparedness.
All right.
Let's see
that's
if you can find a
plus
wick.
3 to sharp.
Perfect. That is a 11.
The bottom of your pack has a wick, a wax-coated wick, as if one for a candle. It's not as fast as a fuse might be, but you could leave it a little shorter, and it would still go.
I think that's what he'll try to do, and he's jerry rigging this together. I think I have a match in my pocket, and yeah, he's trying to motion to them.
Yeah.
I need y'all to get out right now. He's like struggling, trying to light the match. Like, oh, come on.
Dr. Kelly, as the gang starts to turn towards the ant, they gesture to you to come with them. Like, yeah, let's get moving. And the deputies start to move. What do you do? Are you going to stick around and help, or are you going to head out and get the minecart ready?
Yeah, I think she's going to stick around and help. She's gonna pat Angelo and be like, Angelo, you can't be too jittery, you know? That's how your muscles will fail on you, so you gotta calm down, buddy.
Well, maybe you should light the match. And he like shoves it in her face.
Well, I'm still holding all these jugs and bottles, so you're gonna have to do it. Do you want a sip of this Clear Ever, though? It's like alcohol, and I think it'll calm your nerves.
Ah! He freaks out and he
lights the match.
strikes it.
As he
Yeah.
lights the match, and it goes, and the wick starts to burn. The two of you see it between you, a smile like, we did it. And then you realize, oh, we did it. And you start to run for the exit. This big ant moves out of the way. It lumbers forward, and then it closes back again. We see ants all around you, starting to realize you're here. And as the two of you jump in the cart that they've prepared, we start to barrel up. They're pumping the lever in the middle, the seesaw, to try to get you guys going as fast as you can. And you hear the low, ominous rumble of a quake. Let's turn to the outside to see as the riders approach. We see double-backed, the two horses pull up side. Clayton hops down, Alvin hops down, and Philip hops down. He starts to prepare his spells. He says, the best way forward is to collapse this mine. It's really our only choice. If we can bring all of the rocks down on top of them, then we can destroy this hive at its core.
Wait a minute. Alvin has seen that Angelo's wagon is outside.
Oh, yeah. Wait, there's no time to wait. There's already ants out here. We must destroy them.
Look, they're in there. And he says, Clayton, come on. And he will start to run into the mine.
Clayton, he looks at Alvin like he's a fool, and he shakes his head, and he says, this must be done. He better make it out alive. He has 1 minute, and he starts to prepare his incantation, and the timer starts. Clayton, do you head in the mine, or are you going to do something about this fool outside?
I'm also gonna head into the mine.
The two of you sprinting down have no pheromones. I need both of you to roll to kick some ass, lest these ants take you for your money here.
Big whammy?
You may. For our spooky, he can use his powers to kick ass, rolling plus weird instead of tough.
That's 6.
All right. How about for Clayton, Grant? You have a 1 to tough.
I got a 2 plus 1. That's a 3.
And you're both out of luck. Oh yeah, this is bad. As you two run in, we can see that in an exodus, an attempt to get away from whatever is happening inside of the Queen's chamber, the ants are flooding out. And we see as they begin to coat your bodies. You both take 3 harm right away, and it will be ongoing unless you do something about it as you step in without pheromones. One of you looks back and sees on Angelo's cart, they've left a jar here, and you recognize it from the assay's office. As you see this and turn, agony bolts up your limbs as these ants dig in their mandibles to your flesh. Either move. Who wants to go?
Alvin will go. Alvin will see it, turn into, and just run back. He's probably not even capable of speech at this point. He'll run back and grab this off the cart.
It seems to be one of the jars from before. You're not sure what it's going to do at this point, but it's got to be better than this.
He puts some of it on himself, pours some of it on himself, runs back in, and throws the rest of it onto Clayton.
Clayton, doused with this, you're still getting bites, and both of you take an additional 1 harm as they start to flee. The ants begin to sort of get off of you as if they're just clambering over their brethren in the hive, big, small, and in between. And then we hear an enormous boom. The mine starts to crumble from the inside. We see stones begin to fall, and Philip looks like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. That wasn't me, I promise. I didn't do that. That was not my magic. And then this dynamite erupts again. We hear deep down as the bowels of the earth, the foothills start to crumble and break. And then as if a force wave has thrust them up, we see a minecart fly up and out of the mine into the light of the dying sun and twilight, smoke trailing from the back. Inside is Angelo, Dr. Kelly, 3 whole deputies, and 1 who's not looking super good right now that they've brought along nonetheless. He puts up a single thumb. It's the only finger he has left, and he gives you guys just a thumbs up as he comes out and the cart settles. And then the mine collapses in front of you, letting out a huge wave of dust. Hunters, you are victorious, and whether it means that Pemberton will have a very angry set of conversations to have with a few people or not, you've slain the creature and you've saved the town. Take your final moments here.
Dr. Kelly, I believe I am as injured as I possibly can be. As much as I hate to say this, I may need your services.
Not to worry, it seems like a lot of people are banged up here, so I guess we'll just use this tincture all at once. She's still holding that bottle with the clear ever and the lemons. Just stand still real quick and I'll just dump all of this on your wounds.
On second thought, no. we see as Dr. Kelly starts to administer some aid to our gumshoe. Alvin, you and Angelo, you probably grab Angelo's hand, pull him out of the cart. It's smoking and smoldering. The deputies are scrambling out, but the card sharks, the fellow card sharks, see Angelo has burned both of his eyebrows completely off. Do you tell him?
Alvin doesn't tell him. But Alvin does turn and look. Where is Overton?
He is. We see as he's standing by where he's gathering his things, and he's packing it up with just like triumph written clear across his face, like he did it, right? And we see as he packs his bag with a smug look, he says, "Well, I've solved the problem. Does someone want to give me a ride to town?"
Now hold on, wait one moment.
Alvin
Mr. Overton, I believe.
Go ahead.
Mr. Overton, I believe your antics here have created quite a bit of issue with the miners of this town. I believe you should help him out, lest we pay a visit to your friend, Mr. Pemberton.
I think an intimidate is enough here, just from your demeanor and your holding. We see as you step forward to do it, and he kind of flinches back. He says, "Well, I'll do what I can, but I've already collapsed the mine. My magic worked flawlessly." And Angela, you can't help but feel like he's stealing your credit. You're muted.
What? Wait one darn second. Your magic? I think my dynamite did the work. I finished what you started. And I think you ought to be paying me for my services.
We see him sort of coil back and say, like, "Well, I don't know about all that." And we see as 4 hunters' shadows get cast over the top of him for just a moment, knowing he's full well caught and ain't gonna get away with anything. We watch as the camera pans up and the sun sets behind the hills and the skies are painted with orange sickle and lavender. In the town of Perdition's Crossing, they are using shovels to fill in some of the tunnels below, just in case another earthquake shakes things loose. And our heroes, our hunters, have saved the day once again. All right, friends, that's our adventure. Well done. Well done. We've got a couple of questions to ask at the end of every mystery, so let's get through them to see if we might be able to get some experience. I will also say you found all of the clues, so you get a free 1 right off the bat. End of session questions. Did we conclude the current mystery?
Yes.
Did we save someone from certain death or worse?
I think Angelo put lives in danger. He suggested Dr. Kelly kill a man.
Yeah, Dr. Kelly killed somebody.
I would say that the 3 of them actually saved Philip Overton because Alvin was going to shoot him.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. In that case, I think I give you a yes across the board. Save Alvin. Did you save someone today?
I don't believe so.
Not Ethel and didn't you use a big whammy to stop them from attacking at the general store?
Yeah, you probably saved Clayton and Ethel.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. Yeah, okay.
They were going to get torn limb from limb. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
That giant ants are just the thing. That no magic was involved, it sounds like.
The magic was involved in the dynamite, but yeah, that ants can become big from magicked dynamite.
Well, we certainly learned. Yeah, we learned that Augustus Pemberton is willing to use any means necessary to get, including magic, to get stuff out of that mine.
Well played, well played. And I do think Dr. Kelly learning that there's somebody else who has size-changing magics is an important thing to learn. Grant, what did Clayton learn that's new or important about the world?
Clayton really learned about the dynamics of power and how Pemberton seems to be kind of overlording these workers, and you might want to do something about it.
A good man who protects the weak from the strong. You have found yourself a potential foe. Our last question is bespoke to these mysteries and adventures with Aaron. We've got did we use our gear, ability, or knowledge in a crucial way? We'll start with Mark. What about Alvin? Did you get to use one of your new moves, perhaps? What was your favorite thing you used from your kit?
I think that probably the favorite thing from the kit is tune in. Well, I was kind of waiting for that to be possible, but it was fun because I loved being able to use it because I got to set it up all through the time before.
He sure did. You set it up well, excellently done. Grant, what about you? What did you use from your kit that was helpful or impressive or good? Gear, ability, or knowledge?
I think my use of the Naked City to get us the help in the deputy.
Getting the pack of boys that you could turn into meat for the ants. Gross. Dr. Kelly, what about you? What did you do? Gear, ability, or knowledge in a crucial way?
I think all of her abilities are in there. I will say that maybe perhaps for a happier ending for the guy that we cut up, if we saved his head, I think Dr. Kelly's gonna try to regrow his body.
Okay. We've got him in a jar for now, but we'll see if we can maybe bring him back in another adventure with a tiny little body that you've regrown some parts of. Wonderful. What about for Angelo?
I think the preparedness really helped right at the end. But I will say, I feel like Angelo has convinced Dr. Kelly not to, because he's like, look, that's one less person I need to pay, which is good for you, so don't do that.
But in the name of science and medical practice, I gotta try.
All right. If you've got one or two yeses, you get 1 point of experience. 3 or 4 yeses to those questions, you get 2. You can add those experience points to the ones you got from finding the clues for today's adventure. Did anyone level up?
Yes.
Nice.
Almost.
Close is good. Close means you get it quick in the next adventure. Well, feel free to bring these hunters back anytime. That's another hunt finished here in Perdition's Crossing, folks. Our hunters have faced darkness once again, proving in the harshest frontier, courage and community can hold back the night. The trail doesn't end here. You can join us here anytime, whether you're seasoned or it's your very first time playing Monster of the Week. Come join our campfire. The links are going to be in the stream and in the VOD below. If you're hankering for something with a little more hope and heart, Saturday morning cartoons every weekend, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central. Until the next train rolls through, I'm going to go spend some time with my players. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.